Grumble. See how Rumble's doing? Rumble is taking its time as usual. I am skipping it past that pre-reel, which I need to change. And there we go. Okay. That is up. That is up. And my lighting's not real bright, but hey, it's night. What do we do? How's it going, everyone? Sorry that I didn't get to do a earlier stream. So we're doing a red eye, and we'll see if anybody shows. If not, and anybody watches this later, thank you very much. Oh, man. Happy, well, Saturday morning now. But hope you had a good Friday. Yeah, I didn't get to do as much as I would have wanted to tonight. But you know what? Let's have a chat. We're just going to start in right hot. Hey, GTR, what's up, man? Gonna start in a little bit hot here because, I'm up late. I'm going to try to keep this to about an hour and a half. We'll see how I can do. Just a quick start off. As we were talking about the other night, the whole James Comey thing. Well, Trump has come out and made a statement against him. And Trump is right. I'm tired. I've seen lefties defending Biden. Or not Biden. See, that's having you up late. Comey. Ooh, my light died in the back. Hang on a second. Let me pull this up for you real quick. And I'm going to have to run and fix that because I do not know what happened. So I will let you peruse this real quick. And turn my camera. There we go. I'll be right back. Now it's back on. Beautiful start. That's the way to start the stream, isn't it, though? All right. Well, poo. I am here. Hang on. Let me pop me back up here. Whoa. Oh, I hate when it does that. There we go. Sorry, software did something kind of stupid. I'm back. All right. Don't know what's going on. Think I have a cord problem. I upset a few libtards by wearing my Trump 2020 hat. Yeah, I do still wear my 2020. I do have a 2024, but I wear my 2020 more. And I've had a couple people ask me why I don't wear my 2024 more. One, I don't want to look like one of the, now that Trump's more cool, I'm going to wear the Trump hat. I like my 2020 to show, I was doing it back when you guys were assaulting us for wearing these hats. So, yeah. It is amazing because I don't know anybody that ever went after anybody for wearing anything Biden or Harris. You're hard-pressed to find it. All right, let me move over here. We'll get a little chit-chat going on. But yeah, I know how you feel, buddy. It's amazing how butthurt. I was wearing my 2024 hat today at the gym, and oh yeah, we got a little butthurt. Look, you get that hackles rising up. I'm doing some trying to do some good old chest. I'm doing some pull-ups right after, and I get this hackles. Look back, and there's this chick just standing by the one leg machine, it's like, it's like, whoopsie. All right, yeah, this is the little fallout from the James Comey thing. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this. I talked about it a lot last night. But I've been hearing lefties starting to defend this. Oh, well, that 86 doesn't mean just that. It's the soda shop thing from the 30s. No. Everybody knows 86'em is clear slang worldwide for take them out, for assassinations, for ending somebody. Everybody knows that. And the fact that James Comey was FBI head, that man worked in intelligence and other stuff and investigations. He knows what 86 means. So I do not buy James Comey going, I didn't really know to make the connection. Bullshit. He may have been a total jackhole as an FBI head. Totally corrupt POS. We can go into his supporting the Russian collusion crap. You name it. So, That guy broke a lot of laws. He's a dickhead. He didn't want to try Hillary, even though they proved it. He out and out said, yeah, she broke these laws. But, nobody would probably convict her. Are you shitting? So what a turd. But he knew what he was posting. He was trying to stay relevant. He's used to the fact that Democrats and deep state people have had no consequences for their actions all this time. And still, honestly, very, very little. But this was a big deal, especially since the big mistake he made is if Trump hadn't had 2+ assassination attempts, yes, 2 major ones, but there were 2 others stopped early. So it's at least 4, actually. But 2 major, close calls. If he hadn't had those, maybe Comey's thing, people wouldn't have looked on it as bad. But since we have had 2 major close calls, a lot of people, even some Democrats, are going, ugh, shit, stupid, shut up. That was dumb. But Trump had a few things to say here. Let me see if these are connecting tonight. And we'll delve into this just real quick. Then we got one more thing on the Comey. So we'll do that real quick and we'll move on. So good morning to everybody. Afternoon, evening. It's 2:42 a.m. my time. And once again, I apologize. Connie, Jim, the rest of you guys who may watch this later. Sorry I didn't make it earlier. It's just been trying to help my dad out and stuff has been taking a lot of time. All right, here we go. Let's take a listen to what Trump had to say on it. And I agree with a lot of what he says here.
I knew exactly what that meant. A child knows what that meant. If you're the FBI director and you don't know what that meant assassination.
He knows exactly.
And it says it loud and clear. Now, he wasn't very competent, but he was competent enough to know what that meant. And he did it for a reason, and he was hit so hard because people like me, and they like what's happening with our country. Our country's become respected again, and all this. And he's calling for the assassination of the president.
Obviously, he apologized and said he wasn't calling for violence. But
look, he's a.
By the way, I just want to stop here to show you guys something. This has been a thing, and people are starting to talk about this a little more again lately. Is the orange man bad? And you go on, especially Reddit and these and TikTok and stuff. Cheeto, orange man, Cheeto. Keep going about his orange. But look what happens when you do not put a filter on him. Do not amp up the color saturation. Trump is not orange. This is the thing they did with Joe Rogan too during the whole ivermectin thing. They made him look green that time. Even Rogan's called that out, and actually, lately, even Joe Rogan has addressed the orange-facing thing. And he talked about how they made him look green during the ivermectin thing. This is crap. This whole orange thing is the left using a meme to make a good shot at Trump, and it's been a thing. It's worked. Leftards actually think he's orange. This is how dumb they are. So yeah, I mean, what the hell? We may even delve a little bit, if I get time, into the Tim Pool culture war. I watched earlier. This comedian he had on there was a total snarky jackass. I'm going to recommend you watch all of it. It's a great culture war. I do think Tim did not push back enough, but there's a portion of that we're going to want to go to. I know I'm squirreling. That guy still thinks Trump said there's good people in Charlottesville on the white supremacist side. What? Smug prick he was, too. It's well worth your watch. I don't think Tim pushed back enough a lot. He let him get away with a lot of craziness. All right, but yeah, I agree totally here. But look at Trump is not orange. And you can see Brett Baer, normal tone, so it's not like they're oversaturating anything or undersaturating anything.
What do you want to see happen? What do you want to see happen?
I don't want to take a position on it because that's going to be up to Pam and all of the great people. But I will say this, I think it's a terrible thing. And when you add his history to that, if he had a clean history, he doesn't. He's a dirty cop. He's a dirty cop. And if he had a clean history, I could understand if there was a leniency. But I'm going to let them make that decision. He knew exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's exactly what he should do. Let them handle it. 100%. I mean, what a dick. Now, my problem here is Comey is trying to say, well, I just happened to cross these shells in here, and I just posted it. I didn't know. What a load. Do you believe that? Comment below. Do any of you believe that James Comey had zero clue what he was posting? Come on. He doesn't know what 86 means. My ass. That's my opinion. My ass. But what do you think? Now, here's why this is controversial. It says he's walking along the beach and saw this. My butt. Yeah. Well, funny thing is, Comey had another anti-Trump seashell moment in the 2024 election. Well, isn't that weird? This stretch of beach he walks, it's strange how he runs into these seashell messages. So, I mean, come on. Does anybody believe this? And this is over at Fox News. They were talking about it. Let me get to see here.
Former FBI Director James Comey is under active federal
we know that.
For
Let me get to.
How did that story break about Hillary Clinton having a server
right here? Watch this.
Culture never catches up with these individuals. That's what I think this is, a play for attention.
You know, and talking about finding shells on the beach, Emily, that's apparently something he likes to do, and apparently he finds bizarre things on the beach. I ran pretty much every day of Christmas break on the beach. I never stumbled upon like violent messages about Trump or painted shells, but Jim Comey apparently does. I don't know what beach he's on. Look at this.
Everywhere.
This is a shell he stumbled
on his
upon
little walk.
In October. He put it out, and you can see it has a political message, vote Harris. He said, saw this at the beach. Ariel understands the assignment. I mean, he finds some interesting things on his beach walks.
Yeah, I'm gonna just call bullshit. This guy just finds seashell messages everywhere on his little walk, because you know what it is. It's where he walks or jogs the same stretch every day or so. Whatever these old, retired, corrupt jackasses do, however often. But he's walking along and he just runs into these. And every one of them is anti-Trump or pro-Democrat. Weird how that is. Yeah, and he just posts these. Come on.
I mean, to me, this is like the embarrassing thing about social media is that it gives the quirky components of people an actual amplification method. Look, he and his meager amount of followers now sees essentially that he's relishing and reveling in the fact that violence is cavalier to them.
Of course it is. The very fact that they keep calling Trump Hatlers and Mussolinis and Megamind and Hans Gruber and they say 86 him is craziness. That idiot knows what he's posting. He's going to say oopsie, but all it is, boy, the left likes to use the phrase dog whistle. It's a dog whistle. As in, it's code word. Dude, you cannot tell me James Comey, FBI head, didn't know what 86 is. That's not even a dog whistle. That's a plain old grape whistle. That's stupid. That is a normal track coach whistle. That's right out in the open when they call him all this stuff. And then besides, you want to talk about that? Let me see. And DOJ indictments for online threats against President Biden. Kansas woman indicted for threats to Biden. You got all these. Just typing that in, you get all of these. It is crazy. All told, I believe they indicted 72 to 74 people for online or written threats against Biden. How many have been indicted for threatening Donald Trump? 0. How long has Donald Trump seen the most vile threats? Hell, Kathy Griffin thought it was fine to hang a cut-off, severed head with Trump's face on it in a post. I mean, holy crap. You've got people like De Niro and all these other people. I'm not saying, I can't remember if it was exactly De Niro, but there are famous people, celebrities, who have threatened Barron Trump, threatened his other kids, threatened his family, threatened Trump. This is nuts. You got lefties all over Reddit talking about removing him. I've screenshotted some of them and turned them into the moderators who done nothing. There are threats to this man's life everywhere, and some people tried to take his life. But we ain't got shit for indictments. We still know jack shit about Butler, Pennsylvania boy. We know a decent amount about the crazy dude who looks like he has some ties with Ukraine down by Trump's golf course there. But Butler, dude, somehow, none of our intelligence services can get anything off his phone, can't get into his computer. Bullcrap. This is stupid. We know nothing. And hey, what happened to the pipe bomb crap in Washington? They ain't nothing about that. Anytime it's something that might lead back to Democrats or the deep state, suddenly the FBI, CIA, NSA, whatever, are all useless. Can't get into the phones. Oh my God, he had them encrypted. Dude, you have whole parts of your agencies set to break encryption. How the heck are you breaking any encryption from our enemies if you can't get in some crazy dudes or some deep state dude's cell phone? So I am calling crap. Hey, no problem, GTR. Have a good day, buddy. I know it is about, 9 a.m. for you? Have a good day, buddy. And I like that hat you got. That's, boy, even, you wear that over there. See, that's my problem, though. I can't believe the insanity of people in other countries marching against our president or Elon Musk or something. That's just weird. Unfortunately, people in the UK, if anybody's watching this, besides my friend GTR here, you need to concentrate in your own country. Your own country has gone knucking futs. But yeah, if you just look at this, all this, you say anything is Biden or a Democrat, oh, they come for you. You do J6, they come for you, even if you just walked in peacefully hours later. Now, how many people were hunted down by the DOJ, FBI, etc., over May 29th, 2020, when they ripped up Washington, D.C., burned down the church across the White House, knocked down White House fences, burned 2 guard posts, injured 200 plus police and Secret Service agents. Where were the arrests? So we are not going to believe James Comey had no clue what he was posting, especially when he's signing other seashell posts that just show, other propaganda. Come on. I just find it unbelievable. And I'm betting most of you do too. But hey, if you think James Comey had no clue, then tell me how he ever should have been FBI. Most people, hell, I had a guy on my stream last night, one of my regulars, Jim. He was always wondering where that came from. But he knew that 86 of them meant, take them out. That's been around for a long time that way. They have started out in a soda shop thing, but as something out of stock, or remove it from stock or something like that. But everybody knows what 86 means. Yeah. So what a load of BS. And I really, I don't know. I like freedom of speech, but it is pretty close to a call to action at this time. At this point, with the actual attempts on his life, the threats still going on. Like I said, go over to Reddit. Look at Reddit politics. Look at Reddit anything goes politics. They are insane over there. I peruse through Reddit. And man, I don't think anybody, including myself, Crowder, anybody is really talking about Reddit enough. I've seen some start to talk about it lately, but very little. Because I think that even some of the big podcasters and pundits out there are scared of the Redditors because, man, if you go over there on some of those pages, they are crazy, saying and crazy crap. And there's no moderation going on over there. They don't care. I posted where I turned into moderators multiple times. I screenshot it. Here's the name of the person, everything, where they were saying to absolutely remove Trump and his family. And you know what I say by remove? I'm being nice for YouTube. Delete. 86 him. They were openly saying it. I've played videos on here of a couple people saying it on here. Hey, somebody needs to take him out. It's like, what the shit? Freedom of speech and call to action are different things. And right now, and with everything that's going on, that seems like a call to action. All right, we are going to move on. I didn't want to spend too much time on the James Comey thing, but I think it's funny. He's finding other shell stuff in his little walk. Bullcrap. And then the DOJ indictments. Nobody's happening to, there's my post where I was posting to do red eye tonight. So, yeah, I did post, Connie. Just late. All right, now we're going to head into the biggest story of the day. Honestly, we all thought it was going to be a slow news story until pating. Yes, and we all knew, Gay Gallup's here, they hid this Biden interview. Everybody knew they were hiding it. Boy, Democrats, they circled them wagons. I know, old saying. Circled them wagons to try to defend the fact that they didn't release this when they decided not to prosecute Biden. Now, this was an interview to see about prosecuting Joe Biden for having classified documents, not just in his home, in 3 or 4 other places, in a couple offices around, in his garage, in an office in his house, in some university office he had. They were everywhere. And here's a mistake people have made. I watched a bunch of people today, guys, and listened on my headphones while I was doing stuff to help my dad. Even on Timcast tonight, Crowder, they just only mentioned, well, Crowder didn't mention it because it came out later, but the other people I watched were talking about, well, as vice president, he can't have those. You're right, but you're making a big mistake and forgetting a lot of these documents date back to when he was a senator. So this asshole, yeah, Biden had been stealing documents that he never should have had. Even if you say it's close on whether or not a VP can take out classified documents, which they cannot. Only the president can declassify and take these things. The vice president cannot take them. They're supposed to be looking at these in a SCIF, a controlled room in, the Capitol or whatever, the Capitol grounds. They cannot take them out of the bill out. You're not supposed to have these out wandering around amongst us. Holy crap. And he kept them in his garage, in his office, in some office over here. They found them in 4 or 5 different places. But then a lot of them, the bad problem is, once again, as a senator, that is the biggest thing they forgot today. Everybody who was talking about this keeps concentrating on him as a VP. Dude, senator, I know I'm saying it a lot, guys, but this, as a senator, Joe Biden was doing things that he couldn't even do legally as vice president. And what were the documents about that he took as senator? I'm going to say stole. Stole as senator? They were due to Ukraine. So you can see his history of his dirty family with Ukraine. Yeah, go look that shit up. They've mentioned a few times those documents he took as senator were to do with Ukraine. So the very fact, this whole interview was them trying to figure out if they should charge him, which they decided not to. And their excuse was, well, he's an old man. He's got memory issues. And boy, people just won't want to convict him because they'll feel for him. What the shit? But then they turn around and indict Trump, who took documents as president, who can take them legally. So we're not going to prosecute the jackass who may now have mental problems, but was taking them for over a decade or more. Probably about 15, 20 years, he was stealing documents, classified shit, and taking them out. But now that he's maybe a little goofy in the head, now we can't try him? Boy, that is some rich shit there. But then we're going to try the guy who was actually president and could take him. So yeah, don't tell me about bias. But when this happened, when Hur come out with his, well, it looks like he did do this, and his ghostwriter says, yeah, he had these, and he actually burned stuff to get rid of evidence. The ghostwriter is, he wanted to be charged. And Biden, well, they admit Biden had memory problems, couldn't remember his kid, but they hid the tape. You and me, as the people, had a right to hear this. and they sat on it. So you want to talk about who's authoritarian is? Who's an authoritarian? It was the Biden administration, and not Joe Biden. By the way, I've got to admit, I'm not saying he's mentally better, but Joe Biden looks better now that he's out of the White House than he did the whole last 2.5, 3 years of his presidency. There is pressure there, and I believe they were really putting the man under pressure. Whether you think he's a good person or not, we know he was this acting like nobody knew. He was cognitively challenged. I still ran into some leftards. What are you talking about? He was fine. It just happened near the end. Bullshit. There were many people in this country screaming during the first election. The election he was in, because he was never in the second one. Dude, look at this dude. He can't even talk right. He's goofy. He's not remembering stuff. He's saying weird words. True in a moment of pressure. I have 2 words in the foothills of the Himalayas. He was making up jobs he never did. We all knew it, and it was clear as a bell, but half this country had ignored it for hate. Hate's sake. That's it. And the bad thing is, the rest of us are not pushing hard enough to tell CNN and Jake Tapper to get fucked. He should get fucked. He should be in jail. And freedom of speech ends when you are defrauding people. They screwed with an election. They tampered. They lied to you and me. How much of their lies about Biden got people hurt? That gave the people behind Biden the okay to bring in millions of people, to get women and children ended in this country, to get fentanyl flowed in here. The deaths for fentanyl went through the roof. How many people how many people's lives did they cost over those 4 years? They M-worded, American citizens and didn't give a shit for power. And it wasn't Joe Biden. As evil as that man was, dirty and corrupt as he was his career, he was the puppet. And now we all knew it. We've known it for a while. But then that interview where they couldn't hide it anymore, the meds wouldn't cover anymore. They didn't care. I think they took him off his meds. I think they sold him down the river. I think that Jill Biden was doing more running it than he was. She loved the power of the White House. Remember, the last cabinet, he didn't have a cabinet meeting forever. If Trump did that, holy crap. Then suddenly they have a cabinet meeting, but who's running it? Jill Biden. Imagine if Melania Trump was running a cabinet meeting. Oh my God. The freakouts we would have. So, this is just a partial sample. Whoa, the rest of this, I don't know. I've got to look around and see if I can find the rest. But this is craziness, all this. So let's take a quick listen. And this just confirms that this man was never president. Once again, Jake Tapper, CNN, MSNBC, all of them lied. Joe Scarborough telling you he's the best Biden ever. He's sharp. Everybody's saying he's doing handsprings and he's sharp as a tack and paying attention in meetings when we all saw him. Every one of them, fraud, election tampering. They got, hey, if I'm with somebody, I'm just a getaway driver. Somebody's robbing a bank. They cap somebody during that bank robbery. I am tried for ending that person too, because I was there. Every one of these people who did this in our media, you passed your free speech. You helped get Americans ended. You didn't care. How many of the left media lied just as much about Biden's Biden's brain problems? Welcome to 3 a.m. Welcome to my own Biden moment. They not only lied about Biden's mental capacity, but they lied about the border, knowing people were flowing across, knowing children were being trafficked, knowing American women and children were getting ended. They helped facilitate that. They should be tried, just like with my bank reference there. Freedom of speech ends when you are going out and committing a crime. They were committing a crime. But here, let's take a quick listen to this. I will try to get off my soapbox. And, oh, yeah. I can't wait to hear more of this.
And there were documents related to the Penn Biden the Biden or the cancer booster shot or your book, where did you keep papers that related to those things?
The Penn Biden Center was another place at a college where they found a bunch of his documents. Yeah, so he had these everywhere.
Things that you were actively working on.
Well, I don't know. This is what, 2017, 18, that area?
Yes, sir.
Remember, in this time frame, my son is either been deployed or is dying.
You don't know which? You don't know which? Anybody that's lost a family member, a father, a mother. I lost my mom recently. I can tell you when. You lost a father, mother, child, brother, sister, grandmother, grandfather, you name it. Grandson, you know when. You don't say, well, yeah, my son was either deployed or already dying at this time. What? That seems like a little bit of a gap. Deployed or already dying. What the hell? That's a big difference. He didn't even know when. In this time frame. That is crazy. This man did not remember when his kid was either just deployed or already insane. Like, it's again, I do dislike Biden. He is an evil criminal most of his whole career. But you also got to feel bad for the man because he's not here. He was used not only by the Democrats and the deep state, but his wife. Jill Biden is not a good person unless maybe they threatened her too. Because they may have come along and we don't know for sure. Once again, these are people that will help get a president shot at. Who lied to rig elections, who threatened people on social media, who had social media companies taking things down, removing people's accounts. They tried to set up a government board of disinformation to limit our free speech. So yeah, I do pity Biden in a way because the man probably wanted to be president his whole life, and they told him, we'll make you prez. He didn't get to do shit, and this just shows it.
And
hey, Connie.
And so it was, and by the way, there were still a lot of people at the time when I got out of the Senate that were encouraging me to run in this period, except the president. I'm not a mean thing to say. I mean, he just thought that she had a better shot of winning the presidency than I did. And so I hadn't at this point, even though I'm at Penn, I hadn't walked away from the idea that I might run for office again. So if I ran again, I'd be running for president. And so what was happening though?
This is a long answer. The question, hi buddy, this has nothing to do with the question about where he kept documents and stuff. He's just meandering along now, telling stories again. He's just going along. You go back to the beginning, this has nothing to do with the question the guy answered about where'd you keep documents where you were actively working and stuff. He's just going along. He's just wandered off.
What month did Bo die?
He actually asked right here, what month did Bo die?
What month did Bo die? May 30th.
I know when my mother died, but he says, oh God, the man knows he's got problems. I know when my mother died. I'm gonna bet my wife's mom knows when her mom died. That is crazy. I know the month and day. I'll bet she does. Not throwing my mother-in-law under the bus. I'm just saying, I know. I'm betting she knows month and day. He doesn't. And he's even shocked himself.
2015. Was it 2015 he died? 2015. I think it's 2015.
Or in
I'm not sure the months are, but I think it was.
He had to ask. This guy reminded him when his son died. He had to ask about the year.
That's right, Mr. President.
And what's happened in the meantime is that Trump gets elected in November of 2017? 2016.
He said, when Trump got elected. That is stupid. How did he get elected in 2017 when you got elected in 2020, Jerkosaurus? This is mental. The guy... Ugh.
All right. So...
This man should not have been our president, ever. And I'm going to put a saddle on everybody. Well, I'm going to saddle you who, if you voted for him, especially since this was obvious. You are a smooth-brained sheep. Don't tell me, I didn't know, I was lied to. It was obvious. The man couldn't walk straight, talk straight, do nothing. He had to have a lid on it. They hid him in that election. The media did all of his campaigning. He didn't do shit. Don't act like you didn't know. Oh my God. When he did that debate against Trump, oh my God, we just didn't know. Bullshit. It was all over. By that time, hell, by a year in, they already had videos compiled of all the F-ups and stupid shit this guy did. Tripping and falling up steps and not being able to talk right, making up words, making up lies about jobs. It was all obvious. And not just the media, not just the deep state, but every lefty who sat there and made fun and was derisive and lied should always be held accountable for it. We should never let them forget that they lied. They covered this up. And that's that. And I am so tired of this whole revisionist shit because the lefty media, the mainstream media is trying to dig their asses out of this. They knew. They lied. Jake Tapper, you can find video after video of him during the time whenever somebody say, hey, Biden's cognitively challenged. He's got problems. He's got dementia. No, you got no proof of that. Oh. He would shut people down. Yet now he's out there going, oh my God, the White House lied to us. Shut up. You are in the news. You had all the video evidence. You had more than I can get here. You probably got closer to this man than most people in this country ever did. You knew. Joe Scarborough and Mika knew. MSNBC, Rachel Maddow knew. Joy Reid knew. They all knew. Kamala Harris knew it. Jen Psaki knew it. Yes, I'm going to keep naming them because they all knew it. Pelosi knew it. They gave a shit. For power and hate's sake. And if you went along with this, then you're going to act like you didn't know, then you should not be voting anymore. Or you should sit down and shut the fuck up next time one of us tries telling you something. You are the pricks that called the rest of us, you're in a cult. Who's more in a cult? Somebody that votes for Trump or somebody who ignored this man's obvious disability and cognitive uselessness to be president? I'm going to say the people who voted for this and still told us we were in a cult, told us he was fine. That's a cult. Clear as shit. Finish this up. I'll be with you in a little bit, guys, in the chat.
Why not 2017?
That's when you left office, January.
This guy's telling him when he had to leave office, when he left office first. What the
That's
shit?
Trump gets sworn in.
Right, correct.
Okay, yeah.
This guy's having to lead him through his own history.
2017, Bo had passed, and
He just screwed up. Bo died in 2015. We just went through this. This guy can't keep anything straight.
this is personal.
And once again, I'm not totally making fun of him. I am actually angry as shit, even though this guy, I do not like him. He was corrupt his whole life and evil. But my God, these people took an old man that had no right being anywhere near, managing a White Castle. I love me White Castle. I'm not making fun of you. Managing a White Castle, let alone the presidency. And his piece of shit wife, unless she got threatened by the deep state, went along with it. Dude, if my wife had these problems, I would never parade her out. This man is now going to be known as the worst president in history. That is not, the way you want to be in history books forever. That is craziness. History's not going to look back good on this president. Especially as we get farther away where people are going to be more honest. Where people that were involved are gone and real shit gets said. We're already seeing some of it. Once again, the media trying to unbury themselves from their bullshit. These people are buried in their Jurassic Park levels of bullshit. They're trying to dig out. But this guy, Hur, is helping Biden with his own history. This isn't that long ago. Death of a son, his election, into presidency. I'm like, what the hell?
The genesis of the book and the title, Promise Me Dad, was I know you're all close with your sons and daughters, but Bo was like my right arm, and that was my left. These guys were a year and a half apart, and they could finish each other's sentences. And Bo, I used to go home on the train in the period that I was still in the Senate. Anyway, do you remember? There was not pressure. Bo knew how much I adored him.
This has nothing to do with the original question. None of this.
And this sounds so. Everybody knew how close we were. There was not anybody who
still has nothing to do with the original question.
Whether or not. Anyway. And so.
Sir, I'm wondering if this is a good time to take a break. Briefly.
No, let me just keep going to get it done.
Get what done? This is all a question. That all stemmed from a question. Where did you keep documents that you were actively working? None of that had to do with it. There was maybe a tenth of a second there where you said something about documents. It was all from her asking, where else did you have documents where you were actively working? And stuff. That she just went off. So when we get the rest of this, I can find the rest of this. We're going to play more of it. But I played it all for a reason. Dude, he asked a question about where'd you keep documents you're active working, where else did you have them? And he just bloop, 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 bloop. And we had over 4 minutes of just not, and this wasn't on purpose, politician not answering. This was just, whoop, wander off. Yeah. Somebody should have given him his flashcards. Dang, dude. Joe Biden's cognitive decline cover-up may be worse than Watergate. It's much worse. They did fake an election. They rigged an election to get this man in. And it was rigged. And anybody says it wasn't, from Tim Pool on, is full of shit. Because let's not play semantics. They rigged it. I don't care if you want to say there were fake ballots or not. But when they had the whole media against Trump, when the government put its finger on the button, helped fake stories against Russian collusion and being a traitor about Trump to help Hillary, that was a rigged election right there. They saddled Trump with this. They've been doing it ever since. Trump keeps beating the odds, but they have rigged elections. They tried to assassinate him. This is stupid. So, yeah, that was a rigged election. 2020 was a total rig election. They told social media to hide things, took down things. So yeah, our government did that. And I'm sorry, Tim. Sorry, everybody else. That's a rigged election. Our government is never supposed to put his finger on it like that. That was a clear issue. So yeah, let alone all the other issues. By the way, Connie, good morning. How you doing, hon? No problem. Hey, I apologize. I said that in the beginning of my video. I apologize. I've had a couple very long days, and I was struggling. I really wanted to do 9:30, but I wasn't even home by then. So I apologize, and I just want to do a quick red eye stream. But welcome, hon. How you doing? And yes, it is worse than Watergate. Watergate was something where actually Nixon wasn't even involved in that at first. He found out somebody else was doing it. Nixon's big mistake was once he found out, instead of just blowing the whistle on it, he kept it quiet. But this was actually done. This is much worse. They put a clear puppet, and now it's clear that Biden was never the president. Of course, a lot of us already knew that. But this is just one more straw on that camel's back. We know it. 100%. We have to look at our mainstream media and our government who lied. Everybody around this man lied. Every cabinet person, every military advisor, anybody ever met with this man knew it. Sky News talked about it. I tried to find some of their videos, but I was having a hard time finding them. But Sky News talked about it. Everybody around the world talked about it. I mean, come on. You got world leaders saving this guy from wandering off and yammering. You got him falling asleep in meetings. You got people in meetings. If you watch old videos, he's talking, and you can see the other world leaders roll their eyes or start going, ugh, when he starts talking about something else. Everybody knew. There are people around the world that made fun of us because of his mental problems. Going, how did America elect this? He has clear mental issues. So I do not want this revisionist bullshit from Jake Tapper or any lefty media source. We should be attacking them verbally, YouTube, and legally with laws. They defrauded America. They got people ended with their lies. That's not freedom of speech. People are no longer alive in America that should be because they got this guy in, and the people behind him, the wizard, the people behind the Wizard of Oz, pulling the levers, got their bullshit through. So we need to never let them forget. But I will look for more of this as they release this footage. But what you just heard is Robert Hur asking, once again, where else did you keep documents where you were actively working? And he just wandered off on a 4-minute thing where he couldn't remember when he got elected, couldn't remember when Trump got elected, couldn't remember when his own son died multiple times. That guy, Robert Hur, was leading him through his own history, and he still kept forgetting. So, yeah. Hey, Far North Dirt Tracking, what is up? Yes, have poopy pants. Yeah, that's the other thing. In the Vatican and in Buckingham Palace, it was purported heavily that he pooed himself a couple times. And what was that CNN interview? He's standing like he's got a rocket pack on our cornholio. So, yeah. So, no, we need a hammer on this. This was blatant, and I don't ever want to see Jake Tapper or anybody else getting out from under this. This was bad. Very bad. I tried to find it, but... And I'm going to admit, I'm a little bit annoyed at Robert Hur for not charging him, and or how come if he was so incompetent, and I heard people ask this at the time, if he was so mentally incompetent, we couldn't charge him with actual crimes he did. Why the frig was he still allowed to be our president for another, year and a half after that? That is crazy. That's like a person going blind being allowed to keep driving their car on the highway with the rest of us. That is stupid. So, yeah. Ugh. And you can go clear back. May 4th, 2024. Biden blunder of the week. You can just keep going back through video upon video. July 8th, 2024. Biden goes, made a big mistake. Reaction of Mika and Joe, Morning Joe. Yeah. You can go back through tons of these. By the way, this is the asshole who said this is the best Biden ever. I've seen him behind the scenes. He's amazing. Lying jackass, and he screwed up on their own show. I don't remember, guys, remember this screw up. Let's see if I can get this up. There we go.
In fact, he said, I think I encouraged Russia.
Back up.
Nobody said anything except me and the folks out there in the local, race. He said, I did nothing to stop Russia's invasion of Ukraine. In fact, he said, I think I encouraged Russia from going, I think he encouraged Russia going in. I mean, I'm reading from the list of lies. First of all, he was made-up quotes, suckers and losers. I was with he called the Americans in the cemeteries from World War I suckers and losers. And so this guy's going to have to start to answer for what he did. I'm not letting...
Now, did you hear what he said? He said he was there. He heard Trump say that. Well, I was there, and he changed himself. Which is bullshit. The guy screwed up everywhere. Another one. You can just scroll through. So anybody ever tells you that, oh, no. Remember, there were comedians calling him President Roomba. Because every time a speech ended, he'd start wandering. Never knew where to go. They had to come grab him on stage sometimes. So anybody says, oh, we didn't know, you say bullshit. We can never accept this. Video upon video upon video upon video for years. 2022. We all knew. So never let anybody wiggle out of this. I know I'm staying on this a little long, but man, oh man, this one just pisses me off that now they're trying to act like they didn't know. So if you get a chance to, go over here to Axios or Gay Gallops here on X, either one, and listen to this for yourself. I've played the whole thing. It is just drags out. This is just the first 4.5 minutes we've gotten of all this. I cannot wait to hear the rest. Wow. All Robert Hur did was ask, once again, where did you keep other documents that you were actively working? And all he did was just wander off on stuff. And he needed help, even remembering the death of his own son when he's got elected president, you name it. Wow. All right. Holy crap. What's up, Slowburn? How you doing, buddy? I kept saying it's very clear elder abuse. Yes, 100%. That is another thing. Once again, I don't have to like Joe Biden or think he's a good man to know and see that this was crap. This is how little Democrats care about anything. And I've been saying it for months. Democrats have no true beliefs. It is whatever will give them power in the moment. They took this old man who was cognitively not able to make me a hamburger at a Wendy's. Still love me Wendy's. But couldn't make me a hamburger there that I would trust. And threw him in the presidency. And once again, I think Joe Biden, when I saw him on The View the other day, he looks better now than he did in the presidency. They were really doing some shit to this guy. I don't know but I'm not saying mentally he's better, but physically he looks better. That's crazy. The stress they were putting this poor man through, and I'm saying poor man, I know he's a piece of shit. Because older people, when they lose their cognitive, shouldn't be treated this way. That is crazy. Hell, we've all seen people when they get older that if you lighten the load on them, they still operate pretty well, at least for so many hours a day. This man, they put so much on him. This stuff that never should have been on somebody with his mental and physical problems. Dude, that is crazy. They did not care if Joe Biden died because they got power by using him. And I'm not saying all Republicans are great, but man, Republicans are too big of pussies to ever do anything like this. They won't even wield the power they beg for and then get elected to. They are scared to use that power that they legally have. Democrats, though, whoa. Democrats are truly in a cult. I have no problem saying it. They are truly in a cult. The very fact that they could look at Joe Biden for almost 4 years and go, he's fine. What are you talking about? You're lying if you say he's not sharp. Joe Biden is amazing. Cult. Drink the Kool-Aid. All right, so let's move on a little bit here. Yes, he was a Dems puppet. Well, how's it going this morning, Slowburn? Far north, how are you doing on tomorrow afternoon for you? All right, I was looking at, where was it? Oh, here it is. Sorry, guys, I am wandering around here because I didn't get these in the order I wanted. Trump's Middle East tour has more substance than the White House let on. Okay, I'll kind of agree with CNN here. Yes, this is CNN. I'll kind of agree with CNN, but I still think they're full of shit in a little bit. Yes, Trump's Middle East tour had a crazy load of substance. It was amazing. His poll numbers have gone up since. Between his job numbers, inflation numbers, and poll numbers, or this trip, holy crap. His poll numbers are coming up. So, and I don't want to hear about Trump's poll numbers after the last president that they kept touting and pushing. You know, his poll numbers were in the 20s. Trump still has 2 times Biden's poll numbers. So the Democrats can shut the fuck up. The mainstream media can shut the fuck up. You assholes hid Biden's mental problems. You lied to us. That man had 20%, was it 26% or something like that? And you guys lied. So screw what Trump's is. When Trump gets to 26%, we'll chat. Other than that, shut up. But CNN is partially honest here. Trump's Middle East tour has more substance, yes it did, a lot, than the White House let on. What are you talking about? They touted it all. They touted everything he did. All the deals, all the meetings. So yeah. 8:30 p.m. Saturday. Woof! Having coffee and waking up. Well, coolio. CNN, there's more to Donald Trump's Middle East trip than billion-dollar contracts, parades of camels, and a storm back home over Qatar's offer to give the president a new Air Force One. You know what? We knew that, CNN. A lot of that is just fluff that lefties wanted to concentrate on. The billion-dollar contracts weren't. The parades, the camels, and all the dumb airplane. A lot of people didn't even pay attention as they knew it was fluff. It was crap. It was a distraction. A tour narrowly billed by the White House as a chance for Trump to show he's a master deal maker is jumbling the region's geopolitical jigsaw puzzle. Wherever he goes, Trump brings disruption that can forge possibilities. That sounds like he's a good negotiator, not disrupting. See, they can't help themselves. Wording. And he takes risks. For instance, his decision on this trip to lift sanctions on Syria to give a war-ravaged nation a second chance. Because they're under new leaders. If they're still under, what was it, Assad? He wouldn't have done that. The Assad regime was shit. But he's going to try to give this new leader a chance to maybe do something good with his country. Lift the sanctions, make this leader a little more popular, make things easier for the people under this leader. And hey, guess what? Maybe things will go a little better. But the move revives a perennial question about Trump's entire foreign and trade policy. Can he apply himself sufficiently to reach genuine breakthroughs from openings he creates? Yes, he keeps doing it. You guys keep questioning, and he keeps doing it. Oh, he'll never bring inflation. Oh, shit, he brought the inflation down. Egg prices. Oh, shit, egg prices are down. Gas prices are down. Shit. Oh, my God, the tariffs aren't going to work. He's got trade deals. Shit. It's just, they keep losing every time, but they can't help themselves. They automatically will shit on anything Trump's going to do or say, but then when it goes against them, they just move on to the next one to shit on. I live in the future. Oh. Well, you live on the bottom side of the planet. You live on Earth's butt. Oh. Even though, boy, if the polls reverse, but the White House's obsession with lionizing Trump. Okay, once again, as we just talked about, shut up. Yeah, because the White House was out there just being honest about Biden. Biden was a clusterfuck. Biden was a jackwagon, a snapperhead. Stupid. But they were like, Biden is amazing. Yeah, how dare the White House, the administration of the actual president, tout the president. Jeez Louise. Once again, no matter what Trump does, if Trump's era was good, they hold their breaths. Lionizing Trump means his most significant initiatives are swamped by hype. No, because you concentrate on the hype, CNN. That's your fault. The rest of us are looking at the real shit. We look at the hype, go, yeah, okay, whatever, fluff. Okay, Trump is spouting, whatever. We look at the real shit. You don't want to, because it all goes against you. So a deal for Qatar to buy Boeing jets worth tens of billions got more attention back home Wednesday than his encounter Riyadh and Syrian leader Ahmed al-Shara. The historic first meeting to U.S. and Syrian leaders in 25 years. We all heard it. We talked about the jets. And I even said on my stream, dude, Boeing, don't fuck this up. Yes, we all knew about the leaders he was meeting. We paid attention to all of it. The jets is not fluff. That's a big damn deal. It'll get more attention because that is real money, real in our country, in our faces, big deal. That could bring in shitloads to not just Boeing, but peripheral companies. Hell, the restaurant down the street, when these guys are going to be working long hours, are they going to be getting orders for pizza? Guys are going to be stopping in before and after buying food because they got money. This means a big deal to our country. The first historic meeting of Syrian and Riyadh leaders and stuff is not as big a deal to America. Did we know about it? Yes. Was it a cool? Yes. But we are, of course, going to concentrate on what gets us makes our country better. And this right here is it. That is good for us. Oh, don't do that. My cat is just about to puke right next to me on the carpet. That's beautiful. Lovely. Yep, she's going to puke right behind my chair. Beautiful. If only I can send you a lottery number. Yeah. CNN is terrible. Did she just... Yep. My cat yacked behind me. Thanks, Pepper. Yeah, now she's walking up the steps. Beautiful. But no, CNN, we didn't miss it. You did, and you did it on purpose. You always concentrate on the fluff. Go, oh my God, they're having a parade for Trump like he's somebody important. Like the President of the United States, you dicks. All this pomp and circumstance. Yeah, well, every president that goes somewhere of every country, you go somewhere, you get some type of parade or a big, cool, fancy meeting. But, oh, Trump does it. Oh, my God. Ugh. Before he overthrew the murderer dictator Bashar al-Assad, al-Shara was a rebel leader who pledged allegiance to al-Qaeda and had, he didn't give, $96 billion worth of equipment to him like Biden did. Oh, Biden's handlers, my bad. And had a $10 million U.S. bounty on his head. Trump sat with him and lifted sanctions on a civil war-racked country, hoping to give it a chance to unify and rescue civilians facing severe hunger. Yeah. He's gonna try to reach out to this guy, give him a shot. But man, if you poke Trump, he's gonna poke back. So he's gonna give this man a chance to do something with his country, and that's a good thing. But they go into more about how he met with Iran. He's trying to talk to Iran about their stuff. It goes on and on. But the whole thing is, I agree with part of this. But because of this historic trip, and it was historic, all the stuff he got done, there were Biden officials who are coming out leaking and saying, damn, wish we could have done all this. Wish the Biden administration that I worked for could have got this done. That would have been good. Oh, yeah, CNN is terrible. They're horrible. Pfft. All right, so I'm going to look over you guys, okay? Oh, Lordy. By the way, guys, do me a favor. Please hit thumbs up if you haven't on the stream. And like I said, I always say, share the channel out to anybody you know that may like this craziness. I appreciate you stopping in. Let's see here. Where does the best form of legitimate news come from now? Most mainstream media seem to be one-sided. Fox is not too bad. Fox is not too bad. I will say Newsmax is very good. They are definitely conservative, but they will not lie to you and say they're not. They are definitely slanted to conservative. But I have found more real news on Newsmax than Fox. And some of their guys' openings and statements and stories are really good. They will not lie to you about their bias, but they are still open to when either side does something wrong. So I'd say Newsmax. I don't watch Fox much except for like the 5. I will watch Jesse Waters a little bit. Maybe a little Laura Ingraham, but Sean Hannity I cannot stand. I like Gutfeld, but I don't really watch their news coverage. So yeah, I like some of the personalities. The 5 is probably the best show on there to watch, and then Gutfeld. So those 2 shows I'd say watch. Other than that, look at Newsmax. Other than that, go to independent media. Go to people like Crowder, Timcast, D-Day Cobra, me, stuff like that. You can look up and you'll find, if you can find one creator you like, try to look for others that the algorithm recommends you if it goes close. But watch that algorithm. It's going to try to shove you left. They will shove you left. Try Rumble. Rumble's a good place to look. Stuff like that. So yeah, that's a good place. It is hard. I mean, a lot of people out there are getting a lot more wise to the BS, which is good. It really is. But yeah, there's a lot. It's hard to glean. There's online people that are just as bad. There's Harry Sisson and all these others out there. So, but your best chance of finding more center media is getting online. And I am not, you may think I'm not center because I do talk a lot about Trump in the good, but I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I am more of a centrist with a slight conservative leaning. And like I said, if we talk about certain things, I mean, I was disagreeing with Jim Patterson the other day. A lot of conservatives really will back Israel to the bone. I more want us out of it and let the chips fall. Let those 2 countries end it. You want to talk abortion? I can probably piss off both sides, left and right. So look for people. Crowder is definitely right, but he will not lie to you about it. And Crowder is pretty damned honest. Tim Pool is slightly left. He's slightly left libertarian. But he won't really shine you on. You may not agree with him all the time, but he won't shine you on too much. Who else was I going to say? Russell Brand. Russell Brand was a lifetime lefty. He still is, but he's pretty honest, and his eyes have been open to a lot of corrupt bullshit. So Russell Brand. There's a lot of people. In America, Heavy Duty Country. I like he's got good videos. Definitely more conservative, but I don't mind watching. I do, as you see, I do use a lot of lefty sources because I look at lefties. But I don't mind watching a lot of center right or right people because they are a little more honest than lefties. So I don't mind that. They also give you more honest facts, honest opinions. They won't do it just for views or just to get somebody in power. That is a big deal. Scott Adams at 9 a.m. I don't know that one. That's one I do not know. Okay. See? Once again, Slowburn just gave you one to try, which now I'm going to have to figure that one out. Okay. But yeah, this Middle East trip is really done Trump good. I think it's amazing. Let's move on a little bit and see if I can find this. I don't care about that. I want to go, how do I get here? Okay, here. Let's go home. Oops, shit. Didn't mean to do that. Whoopsie. Sorry, I want to find this. This one right here. Tim Pool versus Adam Conover. This guy, I guess, is a comedian. He's a dick. He had a TV show, I guess, for a while called Adam is Right About Everything. I guess on Netflix, I think. But this guy was the smuggest, know-nothing, arrogant jackwagon Tim has had on the culture war in a long time. And there's been some jackwagons on there. And I believe Tim made a mistake in not calling him out on enough of his bullshit. I did watch it today. As you can see, my little line there, I did watch it. I would recommend anybody to go watch it. Once again, I'm not here to promote me. I will promote anything I think is worth your time. It is 2 hours and 14 minutes. There is times you're going to want to bang your head into a wall. Because, like I said, Tim lets this guy frame arguments in bad ways at times. They're very dishonest ways. And the guy's a smug prick. He even really, really tries to intimate that Tim does a lot of illegal shit and tries to intimate that Tim is in league with Russia. No shit. So we will look at a bit of that here in a sec, but not much, because there's this one area that really pissed me off. I may have to scan to find it, but that guy actually says that Trump said there's good people on the white Supremes in Charlottesville. And Tim had it by that time. Used to watch Brand a long time ago, but he was way too left for me. He's still kind of a lefty, but he's called out the pharmaceutical industry. He likes how RFK Jr. wants to get all the chemicals out of our foods here in America and make people healthy again, the MAHA movement. He's seen how the media attacks Trump badly. He's like, you can attack him for real things, but don't make things up. I would give Brand a try. He's not everybody's cup of tea, the way he talks and stuff. Of course, neither am I. But I would say he's definitely worth it, and give him more than a show or two. Yeah, Tim Pool's got multiple shows, Teamcast IRL being probably the best. The Culture War is pretty damn good. Crowder's good, but yeah. Crowder, his comedy bits aren't for everybody. As soon as you get past that. Most canceled man on YouTube, he did Dilbert. Oh, Scott. Now I know Scott Adams. Yeah, the guy who said he wants to live only in white neighborhoods, which is not a big deal because traditionally throughout time, brown people like to live with brown people, white people like to live with white people. That's just natural. We seem to want to kind of congregate, in groups. So, whatever. That's not a big deal. But yeah, he got in trouble for that, didn't he? Oh, come on. Oh, something in exile, Doug. Crap. I'd have to call it up. There's a lot. I pay attention to a lot. Let's see here. But this here, I'm going to pull this up. See if I can find this. I will scan ahead. Where did this guy say that crap?
Okay, so then how are you justifying what happened? I don't think you can legally narrow that it can happen. Therefore, it's good.
I don't think you know how to separate. I just don't think you know how to comprehend the separation between.
I'll start a little beginning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here, let me.
Flick show.
All right.
I'm a stand-up comic. I'm going to be in Charleston, South Carolina this weekend, and you guys invited me. Thought I'd swing by.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
You had what year was that show? Adam Ruins Everything.
It first came out in 2015, I think.
Out Reagan.
All right, I'm going to scan ahead. I want to get going.
Oh yeah, we made.
For people who don't
We're
know,
not going to do all this, guys.
The guy got pulled over.
Trust me.
I think he was smoking weed. He had a gun. He didn't draw it or anything, but the cop just shot and killed him.
I believe what happened. This was so many years ago.
Or anything.
Okay, I want to try
to get a pretty clear fascist authoritarian takeover of the
Okay,
US
this guy
government,
says Trump is a fascist authoritarian.
Politically and culturally.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, you're going to disagree. Your audience is going to disagree. It's
what he says about Trump administration.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Tim Pool destroys woke comedian. It's fine. You can start the clip at this point if you're doing your response videos.
He's so snarky,
yeah. I mean,
though.
it looks like a pretty clear. Fascist authoritarian takeover of the U.S. government. We got people.
Now I got to stop right there. Tim should have come back right away and said, if he's so authoritarian, why is he letting judges that have no right or constitutional right ruling over him, stopping him on stuff that is only executive branch, not judicial? Why is he not just saying, screw you to these judges and doing it? If he's so authoritarian, why is he not just rounding up every illegal and just getting them out no matter what? Seriously, if he's so authoritarian, why are all Democrats not under arrest? This is stupid. Starts off dumb.
Thrown into unmarked vans. We got like the destruction of the civil service.
Not
which
citizens.
Is a pretty standard authoritarian tactic.
He says citizens.
I mean, it looks like a pretty clear fascist authoritarian takeover of the U.S. government. We got people being thrown into unmarked vans.
Later
we got,
he says
destruction
citizens.
of the civil service, which is like a pretty standard authoritarian tactic, like early on in a administration of that type. It's like sort of remains to be seen how far they'll get. And if they'll actually be able to to transform in America in the ways that they're trying to. But yeah, it's pretty.
Re-elected him.
My side of America, people are a little on edge. It's a little frightening to folks.
You lost.
My take on that would be largely because corporate press is lying to them, largely. And
what corporate press? There's no corporate press left, hardly.
Well, I would say their viewership is rapidly diminished.
Yeah.
But still,
he drank a lot, slow burns.
There was a Real Clear Politics aggregate polling found that they didn't do it necessarily by demographic. They did it by decade age bracket. So it was
and who's supporting by the
every
Democrats?
Age group except for 70 plus was pro-Trump. Was
the old people
above.
Real Clear Politics did an average, and they said that every age group in America,
for 70 plus.
Every age group except for 70 plus is pro-Trump.
Yes.
Yeah, let me see if I can try and find it.
Well, they've moved that way.
And this is contrasting to like all the approval rating stats I've seen have him at like what?
Because you watch your bubble.
7% and dropping or something like that.
It's largely based on the older.
Yeah, but that's it. This guy does this the whole time. Let's see if I can get to the next.
You think Trump even knows any of this was happening?
Probably not.
I mean,
sorry, I'm trying to find something here, guys.
The point of America was, freedom of speech was like a main value here.
This is them arguing about these college students that are here on a guest visa, getting booted from the country for starting anti-Israel protests or saying to bring down America while being a guest in here, knowing for a fact when they signed to come in here as a guest, there are certain things you don't get to do, including call for the downfall of our country or our leaders. We get to ask you to leave. So this guy is equating these non-citizens with our rights. And look at the smugness.
I think that's why people come here. It's why I like living here, because I always felt that, hey, I can express an opinion, especially about U.S. foreign policy, and not
you can. You're an American.
That's a right that
you
only
vote here.
Citizens
you pay
have.
Taxes.
And you think America should be a country where if you are not literally an American citizen, if you express any opinion about U.S. foreign policy?
Not any.
I mean, and we both agree the opinion she expressed was pretty mild. It wasn't like a very inflammatory opinion, right? It was like, it's pretty mainstream political opinion to have. It conflicts with U.S. interests about the Suez Canal. I still don't really understand that point, but let's just say that it does.
It does.
That should be grounds for being forcibly removed from the country. And like, whether or not it's legal.
So he still wants to argue about these non-citizens. And it gets downhill from here. They go into a thing where Tim starts talking about George Carlin, free speech, and a bunch of other stuff. It really does go downhill.
American
people. Again, I don't want to play too much.
You don't like that it's happening now, but this was the will of the voters and Congress. And the government has a right to do something.
There we go.
So if they choose to do it, okay. If you have a problem with it, then Congress should repeal those, specifically amend the INA
actual
to
laws.
remove those provisions. It is completely legal under the United States at the will of the American people that this happen. You don't like that it's happening now, but this was the will of the voters and Congress, and it's been law for like 50 years.
Dude, just because something is legal doesn't mean it's right.
Correct. We should change it then. So my point is upholding the law is marginally good. Sometimes the law is bad, and that's why it's not always good. In this regard.
So wait, you're saying simply the fact that Marco Rubio exercised his legal authority to do something was good. It's like he had the legal authority to do it. He could have enforced this law as he saw it on anybody. He could have enforced it on a comedian, right? Who's in town and goes on stage.
No,
and
American
says,
citizen.
Hey, you know what? I disagree with this or that. Or hey, I just did shows in
Canada.
You're
not from Canada.
No, but I just did shows in the UK and Amsterdam, and I made fun of UK politics, made fun of American politics.
You wouldn't dare make fun of Islam, though.
Here we go. Here's the one. This gets real funky. Tim gets mad at him. Tim offers him money to go do this. Because Tim's like, okay, I found that you just walked into a trap. Here we go.
Mock Islam, do it.
Well,
See what he said?
It's not always good. In this regard,
could have enforced it on a comedian, right? Who's in town.
Go to the UK and mock Islam, do it.
There we go.
Well, I don't have any jokes about Islam.
Why not? They got Pakistani grooming games raping little girls. Why won't you go to the UK?
What?
Why won't you go to the UK and make jokes about Islam?
I don't think it's very funny. I don't have any jokes about it. I'm so
because you
confused.
won't. You know better.
Okay, let me help.
He knows what happens when you make jokes of Islam.
Are there jokes that can be made about Islam? Yes or no?
Wait, I don't want to. I don't want to go down this particular rabbit hole.
You don't want to go down it.
You're a hypocrite.
He is scared.
What?
Are there jokes you can make about Islam? Muhammad banged a little girl, right?
I'm really baffled.
Come on. You're terrified of this subject. I'm not.
No, I'm not.
In the UK, you can be jailed for making jokes about Islam or even bring up the grooming gangs.
Yep.
There are people who go online and pointed out that a stabbing was carried out by a Muslim, and they got arrested for it.
Yep.
I'll bet you $1,000 you will not go to the UK and make a joke about any of that stuff.
Woohoo! Gets
because
worse.
you will not go to a foreign country and, in violation of their laws, speak out against what they've said not to speak out against.
And you can see Tim is pissed here. Tim has caught this guy's hypocrisy at this point for 40 minutes. And he's here going, how dare. I like countries where you can say anything you want. I went to the UK and I made fun of their government, but you're not making fun of the real shit that gets you over there. You won't even say that because you know you'll be arrested. They arrest their citizens over there for even mentioning the Muslim gangs who are interfering and hunting down their little girls over there. You don't even get to mention it if you're a citizen. Yeah, Tim's right. This guy's a ween. He wants to put us, he wants to say we're supposed to do something for non-citizens that other countries don't do even for their citizens. He still won't go and stand up for it. Oh, Ryan, dude, this guy is a dick. When you watch this, you are going to look at times where Tim doesn't stand up enough. Tim lets this guy play his dumb word games, and he is an arrogant prick. He really is. He knows nothing. You're going to love this one, Ryan, and good morning, man. A joke about little kids being abused is not funny. Well, I can disagree with that in a way, but that's not what he's talking about. He's trying to say this guy is talking about how people should be able to say whatever they want. And he's trying to act like he's a badass. Well, when I was in the UK, I made jokes about their government and they didn't do anything. But that's not what's controversial there. He will not make a Muslim joke in our country, let alone the UK. Tim is saying, fine, if you're going to stand up for your free speech beliefs, then you go over there and you make a joke about Muslims. It doesn't have to be about kids, Connie. And yes, I'm sorry, all comedy can be funny. All comedy could piss people off. There are things George Carlin said, Lenny Bruce said, that some people wouldn't like. But that's the whole point. As American citizens, we're supposed to be able to say something. But are there consequences maybe? Yes, but not supposed to be consequences from our government. Our government shall make no law abridging the freedom of the speech of the people of America. Of course, not our Second Amendment either, but they do it anyway. So, but you're missing the point there.
Do it. I dare you. $10,000.
$10,000.
If you go to the UK and make a joke about Muhammad having a 12-year-old wife.
This we got here faster than I thought we would in this conversation. Where you're shouting at me about something I don't understand.
Then why would you spout about stuff?
How you would think it's incumbent upon me.
Do you think anybody watching this right now thinks you are confused by the notion that in the UK you go to jail for mocking Islam?
I don't understand how we got onto.
No, Tim's right in the first place. He's a pussy. He knows you make fun of Islam, they get you. They come after you. Not just the government in the UK. Muslims will come after you.
You shouting at me about Islam specifically, I'd like to return to a point I was trying to make.
You said people should be allowed to come to this country and speak out against it. And you said you're a comedian, and and you go to other countries, right? And you said you go to the UK, and I said, okay, if you go to the UK, speak out in violation of their laws and see what happens. Yeah. And you said, I'm confused, I don't understand. What don't you understand? Will you go to Turkey?
Look, he did that a lot.
Speak out against Islam?
I mean,
he makes these looks, and he goes, always brushes off. This guy is a total loon. And Ryan, trust me, you watch this episode, there are times you're going to want to chew nails. He is a total prick.
And if I have a joke to make sure, I don't have a joke about those particular topics.
You're a comedian. Make one up. Show your balls. Show this free speech absolutist crap you want to play on us. Come on. Tim's right for calling him out.
You would.
I would.
You're saying if you had a joke about.
Oh yeah. Sure, I would try to do the best I can. I always try to poke the bear as much as I can. It's part of the job of a comedian.
Nothing to poke the bear
because
about as it pertains to one of the world's largest religions. I mean, come on.
I mean, I haven't written a joke about that recently. I
bet ever.
So look, hey man, I'm a free speech guy, right? I think that something that's nice about America
no, you're not.
is that we're a country that has that value. And
for citizens. And yes, Slober, and you're right. I haven't showed much of this. You watch this, he is very impressed with himself. He will sit there and shit on Tim, shit on everybody for not having his beliefs. But then when Tim pins him down, he'll go, well, I don't know nothing about that. Well, I don't know enough about that. Or I'm not educated on that. Then what the fuck are you talking about? He does that a lot. The few times Tim really pushes back on him, that's what he does. Well, I don't know much about that. But you were opening your mouth on it a minute ago before Tim slammed on your ass. I know that sounded wrong.
And that we don't generally think that you should be tossed into a van and kicked out of the country for expressing an opinion.
Not for citizens.
I think that it is a...
He still keeps doing this. He keeps going back to equating a person on a guest visa who signs knowing there are certain things you do not do or say in our country. That's it. You broke that contract. Bye-bye. He's still acting like this is going to happen to citizens.
Change. No, right, I think it's a change in America to most people around the world to feel that, if I go to America and I express a mild opinion about their foreign policy in my own student paper, or maybe on a stage or maybe somewhere else, I could be, without any warning to me, accosted by 6 people on the street, thrown into a van, and taken out of the country.
Oh, come on.
Yep. I don't have any problem with that.
Let me finish. I think that's a strain. I think that's a new idea for a lot of people that America is that type of country. I think that Donald Trump's purpose is to turn America into that type of country. I think that that's bad. I think.
Okay. And that's one of the parts I wanted to stop real quick is this asshole says Donald Trump is the authoritarian. This guy uses authoritarian for Trump, I think 40 times during this interview. But he wants to say Trump is the authoritarian, wants to limit speech. Joe Biden's administration tried to create the Government Office of Disinformation. They had the chick, I played her last week, who's singing Mary Poppins crap about fake news and stuff. What isn't real? The government will decide. The same government who said the Hunter Biden laptop isn't real, who said Trump is a Russian agent, that said that ivermectin was bad for you, Horst Dewormer, who had doctors canceled for saying, no, this isn't real, this is. Hey, these stupid masks you're buying at the grocery store won't do anything to a virus. You wearing a mask over your face that's a knitted mask like a sweater won't do shit. That government wanted to make an agency of disinformation. That is George Orwell shit. But this guy says Trump is the authoritarian trying to limit your speech. This guy, and he's so arrogant. Yes, Slober, and he loves himself. Ryan Jones, lots of countries don't allow visitors to speak against national interests. 100%, and it's in the documentation. When you sign to come here on a guest visa or a student visa, it lists what you are allowed and not allowed to do. You do not have all the rights of an American citizen. And yeah, you are 100% right. I can go to Nicaragua and teach, preach. Wow, I said that a little wrong. Teach, preach on any topic, but they will tell me before stamping my passport to speak it. Yeah, 100%. It is like that. About politics anyway, strictly forbidden. Yeah. And it is on ours also, Ryan. When these people come here on these guest visas and student visas, they know that. Yet they're not used to us enforcing our laws. They come here and want to stir up crap. So they're actually calling for the downfall of America. The one guy who was grabbed, he helped set up a takeover of the Columbia Library. You don't get to do that. You don't get to set up riots and protests and takeovers here as a visitor. That's like somebody coming into your house and just, you let them come in as a guest and they start kicking over your furniture and stuff. You're going to ask them to leave. It just makes no difference. This guy is a total tool.
I think it makes the country smaller. I think it makes the country worse. I think it's a violation of most of the values that I grew up with as an American. And that's my view of what's happening in the country. Now, if you want to say, hey, I don't like free speech for foreign nationals who are in the country who express mild opinions about other countries.
Stop saying mild. That's his opinion. It's mild. That's his opinion. Others may say that's an extreme thing she was saying that any of these people are doing. And as Ryan said, there are certain things in any country you do not get to talk about if you're a guest. You come into my house as a guest, you don't get to start calling my wife names or attacking my dogs for having dog hair on the couch and saying stupid shit. Once again, no. There are rules.
Then that's your prerogative. It's a big difference between us that you don't like free speech in that way.
I mean, that's loaded language, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, all the language you're using is pretty loaded.
Well, you keep using adjectives to describe things to diminish one thing while exacerbate or exaggerate something else.
I do use the English language to express my thoughts and opinions. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
see that arrogance,
straw manning. It's not a legitimate attack of the ideas, right? So accosted on the street. Come on. She was arrested. Okay. She was arrested by a relatively large group of men compared to what a normal arrest would require, which I think they didn't need to do and was silly. So we can.
But they go on and on about it. Let me see here. There's a couple other places. They wanted to show real quick.
Oh, I see. I see the point that you're making. Okay, so
see this arrogance.
So when things are
I don't have to play much.
Just...
No.
Okay. So then, what is your point?
Your argument is that foreigners should come here.
So one of your values is you should respect the sovereignty of other nations. But again, look,
yes,
this is a
should we invade
this is a recent change in the way that the
No,
U.S.
It's always been like that. We've always had rules about when you come here as a visitor. So yeah, he's a load of shit there. All right, I'm trying to skip. I want to find where this guy. Let's see.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that you rejected the premise that sorry.
Explain. Right. So I asked Secretary Duffy.
On the plane, he sees a black person. And he says, "Oh, now it seems they seem unqualified to me." That's pretty straightforwardly racist.
I actually think that it was racist systems.
This is where he says Charlie Kirk is racist for asking if a black pilot was hired for DEI, when we have United Airlines who said they were trying to make 50% of their pilots black. You can't just do that, since black people aren't even 50% of the country. So how are you going to make black people 50% of anything? That is stupid. Wrong math. I'll bet $10,000 he has a career-ending pass. These people always seem to. Yeah. You're probably right. Boy.
That's what I would say to your argument.
I'm just trying to find this one section.
I don't know the names off the top of my head, but yeah.
I don't know the names. This is arrogance.
Group.
Look at him.
Instead, what's ended up happening is DEI programs have said it's going to be based on race. And so then you get, if you...
Every thing I got off of this dude, off this Adam Conover, is just sheer arrogance.
Go to like Appalachia, for instance. These are the poorest of the poor, and they feel like what little they could have.
And if you watch this, you're going to just, wow. Behind. Once you come out of this, you're going to think, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, the pitting of, poor white people against black people is like just part of the strategy of, the people in power, and they've always done it. And
liberal or
it's unfortunate.
When has Trump done it?
Watch, it's unfortunate to watch the country like descend into that again. Racial issues are hard to tackle.
When did Trump pit poor white people against black people? Anybody in the chat? When is Trump pitting poor white people against black people? I would love to hear that. This guy just pulls stuff directly out of his ass. And Tim should be nailing him for this.
We're very susceptible to it, and unfortunately we've backslid into a period of white racial backlash again. Numbers are down. And...
I never said his numbers were.
Sir. Let's see here. I'm trying to find this. I want to get to this.
American citizen named Abdulrahman Al-Awlaki.
Was it a drone strike situation? make physical they don't come here by fucking boat. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, the other
people are trying to make sense of like the Mad King's like drool coming out of his mouth.
Well, that one for sure, because what if a movie is based in including trading? Our story is banging a drum.
Yeah.
And you guys find one thing, and
to have a there's a system of a country is it like
I'm trying to find this one thing
on theology, but I think Russia's a bunch of shitheads, mainly averaging the 7th confident we can sell, but Timcast people watch.
Oh, come on!
That's
I'm sorry. I'm really trying to find this one bit.
And we still would allow them to hold a sign up or something.
Tim goes off on him about.
Are we going to direct the executive branch through the judiciary to conduct foreign policy? And you can't do that. Adhere to the rules. As
free speech. So.
It actually is. That's Brandenburg v. Ohio. It is, in fact, legal speech. I don't think people should. I understand the Supreme Court's ruling on that.
I'm trying to find where this guy actually attacks Trump, saying there's good people in the white supremacist
I think we're getting
side.
hung up on the one subject.
Tim went off.
I've been having a great time. Yeah,
I agree. It's been fun.
Are you a coward? What's your point?
No, I actually agree with the sovereignty of nations, and if they have competent in interactions with African Americans.
Future proof, like it's old code. Oh, that's just straight up racism. Like,
but it's a communication.
Wow, but
failure.
you've like somehow all attempts to media. It's like the human psychology, right?
Media. People perceived an increase in air traffic accidents
and merit. So some of the
sorry guys, I really am trying to find this. I may not be able to.
Correct. We agree with you on everything. 37th. Let's hang out, man. And now they're friends. Those accolades and then rebound. For instance, like Red doing is because
studying and like it's
no. And I said we
think their power mattresses for like any particular. He's not going to.
I wish I could find this. I'm sorry, guys. I thought I had it marked.
Trying to make that a negative story. The issue we have, and I apologize because I'm not trying to shout at you. I'm shouting Memorial back. This is
right. And then about what the liberal media said
pertaining to you as an individual because we
fascist Israeli.
I got
pro-Israeli people.
The
right the system of a country
priority in going over. I'll put it this way, but I mean your shows were pretty.
All right,
great.
there's one. God dang it! I'm sorry. I'm gonna have a call fail.
He wasn't supposed to be removed. He got authority, so
I'm calling a fail.
These
do it. Just revoke.
That is a freedom
country
about
be to whatever.
This is my last time, guys, and we'll move on.
Yes, but the popular vote. Yes, they did. It clearly states when you're coming here on a condition you can't do certain things. It literally says you won't protest.
That's like a material change to like who are not
competent in interactions with African Americans. Take an uptake. It's largely just
future proof. Like it's odd, like woman fire chief, or we have a he's saying that if a black person is in the seat, it means they're unqualified. That's his assertion.
No, he's saying he doesn't know because he knows you are advocating for it.
I'm just to go in and say,
I disagree. Point.
All right. I wish I could find it. I apologize. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry. Off to bed. Hey, no problem. Far north. Sorry, man. I'm good over here. I'd like to hear what you're deferring to, even if it takes some time. Oh, okay. I will try to find this because Tim went off on him about this because Trump kept saying there's good people. He said that Trump said there's good people in the white Supremes, and he just Tim just
it on YouTube
like,
on a
really?
weekly basis. And I'm a
press is lying. I'm like, yeah, well, they think that he actually said on his stream in response to the comments I made at the White House. What do you mean he's not from Maryland?
It's
a concern that Donald Trump issued an executive order. So probably knew it was happening, but I don't think he had return.
Yeah, sure. What things that both of us agree that they should do in society that then have 6 people show up.
When you asked me if I thought it was morally right, because obviously his interest.
Okay, so why do you think it was good to deport her?
Asserting use of hair out against our foreign policy.
Who's in could think that you should be tossed into a van and
it's not a legit
value of yours. It was bad. And then we said, we shouldn't do that anymore.
And it never changed. The idea that you think you grew up in a nation where you could say whatever you wanted is an absurdity. George Carlin went to jail for swearing.
And that was good, you think?
No,
because
it wasn't.
And you think it's good that Rumesa Ozturk is being forced to leave the country. So
yep, exactly. This whole argument was this guy just wants to put the rights of non-citizens equal to our citizens.
Does change. I did not.
Okay, so then how are you justifying what happened? I think it's bad. I talked about. Yeah.
You can make fun of white people, but you can't make fun of non-white people. You go to jail for that.
Okay, yeah, I think that would, if it's as you say, that sounds like if it applied to me.
If it as you say, he always says that stuff.
Who are not sufficiently loyal as
to start using race again. I think we have the proximity is the best cure. You know, you grow up around people and you understand they're good people.
Non-white people can like participate and like be a part of it. You know?
I think that.
Oops, I hit pause.
The left is
saying I'm looking by,
which makes no sense. The issue is we had
media. It's like the human psychology. Black people in position don't get it.
That's not what he's saying. He says Democrats are intentionally hiring underqualified people based on race.
Yep.
Why are they putting us in a situation?
And there's
like
that face again.
He's saying that if a black person is in the seat, it means they're unqualified. That's his assertion.
No, he's saying he doesn't.
No, but United Airlines said they lowered their standards.
The words that he's saying, it seems pretty straightforward.
I would say that when the left and the right only listen to the surface level clips and arguments, they don't actually understand what the person is conveying, and so the argument then is Charlie Kirk is a racist, which is not true. Charlie Kirk's point on that plane was, let's just map it out 1, 2, 3. Democrats have created policies by which they will put people in positions of authority who don't have the same caliber degree or have passed certain tests because of race. We've seen policies where they will actually go down the list of top candidates until they get to a race. This creates a concern
for air traffic controllers, too.
That individuals are being hired without the capability based on race.
Oh, he does. I just got to find it.
Not that he doesn't want to fly with the black
pilot.
You
think that when you think that in the time when we only had white pilots or white executives or white whatever, a pool of people.
I disagree with that. They've gone full white nationalist, and what we do then is we should target class-based people. People would be like, it's black people.
Pitting of poor white people against black people is like just part of the color. It's racist. He's racist. He's a racist man, and he's issuing racist policy, and the entire country's going along with it because we're in a period of white racial backlash.
When do you think he became racist?
I think he's been racist his whole fucking life.
How did he win all those awards then? Or those accolades and like?
I don't know what accolades he won. He's won accolades.
Trump has. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton stood next to Trump. Jesse Jackson said Trump is one of the best friends to black youth in America and black people in general. He's had tons of awards for helping inner city black children, black people, donating to charities. But now suddenly he became a racist. And this asshole wants to spout Trump as a racist. It's clear as day. He's always been racist. Then he goes, what awards? What are you talking about? So what a load of shit.
Yeah, it was
sorry, guys. I'm back a little bit here.
Leader awards and shit.
Donald Trump has won civil rights leader awards.
Many.
Sure.
Look it up.
Awards are dumb, so I don't.
But then he's got to shit on the awards.
I think he won them because
he won them? Oh, but that don't mean nothing.
I don't know. Bad job awards committee for giving the.
He did get the Ellis Island Medal of Honor, but there's a.
He got a lot.
YouTube headlines are all like Trump is crushing his.
The facts been rebounding, but that's a fact statement from news. Mustn't had Trump go down. Economist and big data.
He's behaving in an authoritarian fashion.
Authoritarian.
Free speech. You're like, oh, but presidents in the past did that. They were being authoritarian and they were abridging free speech. And here's why Bush did it, and it's bad.
Well, that's
when Trump does it,
not how I phrased it. My phrasing was, do you think it's distinct from other administrations? Like Joe Biden, if he did this, I said, of course not. Or forgiving.
I agree with him about. I don't know what do you really like? You hate trans people or whatever, and so.
Well, I'll reiterate it. Right, I praised Joe Biden when he was fighting to remove ATM fees. But that deserves criticism. I don't need to forget.
They're making such a big deal out of it, right? They're not
treating
it as a harm.
It's starting to bother me now.
Yeah, it's he's doing that on purpose to frighten people. That's what I'm talking about with for this guy he doesn't give a shit about anybody. He wants to just throw anyone he doesn't like away to El Salvador and lock him up.
Oh my God.
That's the deal the American public made, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's going to do it with citizens.
For me, I remember when, Barack Obama killed 4. We are mad at Obama for doing these things.
Supreme Court ruling you can no longer do it, or presidential immunity.
presidential immunity in general can citizens and keep it specific.
The president has and removed
branch and spattered middle of the road. But they're co-equal branches, right?
And then B, destroying the civil service. Those are just basic authoritarian. Oh no! Like what does that mean? What's going to happen? Like, oh, John Voight has a plan. Like all this shit. And I'm like, do you guys think that he remembers posting that?
Like, what if a movie is based in Africa? Who is the same?
He's not going to do that because he doesn't have coherent policy. They like did it based,
including trade imbalance,
like a tariff. Operates.
I agree.
He doesn't actually make.
No, he saw it on Fox and prominent liberal personality.
Well,
sorry guys, I'm about to give up because it's here.
The silliest detail.
The right goes, interesting point, Tim. Acting bleach stuff. It's like, bro, Donald Trump dumped food into a fish pond after Shinzo Abe did. Why are you trying to make that a negative mind?
No, I just don't have your. I don't have your obsession.
There it is. There it is.
Bleach stuff.
Here, I found it right here. All right, guys.
Dumped food into a fish pond
so
after.
I will wake you up. Sorry. Thank you for hanging on. But you still got to see some bits of how this guy is so arrogant. And then he's like, Trump is so racist. Always been racist. He's won awards. Well, awards mean nothing. It's the moving goalpost. Trump can do no good. Now, right here is where this idiot says this, guys. He really does.
After Shinzo Abe did. Why are you trying to make that a negative story?
I don't even know what that
it was like
talking about there.
It's all of these hoaxes. The very fine
people.
There it is.
I remember the line. Yeah,
Trump never called Nazis fine people.
He said there were very fine people on both sides,
except the neo-Nazis and white nationalists who should be condemned totally.
He said that.
Holy shit!
See? Look at the arrogant face again.
I don't live in your bubble.
That arrogant face. I don't live in your bubble. Then why the fuck are you spouting shit that's been debunked for 10 years? I don't live in your bubble. Bullshit. Because you are either lying or you go out and look for just Trump hate. You never go look at the facts. Here we go. I will shut up.
Trump never called Nazis fine people.
He said there were very fine people on both sides.
Except the neo-Nazis and white nationalists who should be condemned totally.
He said that?
Holy shit.
Arrogant.
Brother.
I don't live in your bubble, man.
You don't live in the fucking news, dude. Come the fuck on. You don't read the fucking news. This is what fucking blows my mind.
No, I just don't have your
No, Trump did not call neo-Nazis and white supremacists very fine people. Bro, it's been almost 10 years and you still think he did. That's what's fucked up.
I didn't say I think he did.
Yes, you did. What a lying prick. And it wasn't just Snopes. Everybody come out and said it. The full video of what Trump said was out for 10 years. It took forever for Snopes to finally come out when they were busted out and everybody was finally calling them out. For Snopes to come out in 2024 and say, oh yeah, Trump didn't say it. These assholes at Snopes could have done it 6 to 8 years before this. This guy is a liar. I didn't say. Yeah, you did. And it is nice, Tim, to call him out.
I did. I just don't know what you're talking about because I don't listen to your shit.
It's not about.
It's not his shit. It's everywhere. The very fact this guy didn't go watch an actual video to see what he said, didn't look it up, didn't try to learn. I don't live in your bubble, says the excuse of a pure TDS person. Well, I just don't see the news. Then why are you spouting the other way? If you say you don't see the news or I don't live in your bubble, that means you are just cherry picking. You are sticking on one side, got your head so far up your ass. You got your head so far up your ass. I mean, I swear. You got your shoulders wedged in there now. I mean, what a dick.
Not listening to my shit, bro. It's reading the news. It's fact checking. Bro, I got Snopes for you. They're not a conservative publication.
Look at the look on his face. He doesn't care.
I don't know why you're shouting at me. I was just asking you to explain.
Because the issue we have, and I apologize, because I'm not trying to shout at you. I'm shouting in exasperation.
Look at his arrogant face. Dude, if you watch this and tell me he's not arrogant, just look. He is an arrogant prick.
I've had two liberals on in the past 2 weeks who didn't know this. And
yeah.
I'm just like, for the
multiples.
All I do all day is I read probably 500 news articles every single day.
And I don't read maybe as many as Tim does, but I don't take anybody's side automatically clears a bell. CNN or Newsmax or Fox or Crowder or anybody. I go look up multiple sources. A lot of times I like to go look at an actual video of what people say. The fact that these people have no curiosity, do not give a shit, but will go out and spout this shit. This guy saying Trump is racist, you bet me, is based on that Charlottesville thing. Because he was told, Trump said, there's good people in the white Supremes. That's it. For 10 years, it shaped this guy into, oh yeah, so Trump's a racist. Tim just showed him that he's a lying prick. That everything he believes about Trump is based on a lie. But he's still sitting with that arrogant, shit-eating grin on his face. By the way, there's a part of this where he attacks Tim, saying Tim took money from Russia over the Tenet Media bullshit. And he really tried to say that Tim was a Russian agent. It was really funky. You need to watch this. Oh, yeah, he does. He goes on. What a boner. I haven't heard that in a while. I don't live in their bubble, but I know when they are not telling the truth. It's called common sense, 100%. And once again, like Tim's calling him out, you don't fact check. You don't look any of this up. You just, Trump's racist. And he says that multiple times. Oh, he's just a pure racist. He's always been racist. Oh, we got awards for black people? Oh, who cares? Just awards. Shut up. This guy is a pure form of TDS.
CNN, the New York Times, MSNBC, and all their aggregates. And then liberals come on and they believe things that were debunked 8 years ago.
I didn't say I believed it. I was just asking what you were talking about.
You did
didn't
too.
know this.
Yeah, I don't know everything that you know.
But this is what Biden launched his campaign on. Biden made a public announcement to launch his presidency in 2020 off of this lie. And you didn't know that. 5 years later.
I don't know why you're getting on me about this, but
I apologize.
Because you said it. Because you've sat here this whole time calling Trump racist. And when Tim mentioned this, you go, well, he did. So we should be getting on you. Because you are calling our president racist. You've been doing it. And it's based on lies. So then his arrogant ass goes, well, I don't know why you're getting on me about this. Because I should just be able to call Trump racist. I don't care if it's based on a lie. I hate him, and how dare you get in the way of my hate. That is Democrats in a nutshell. Even worse, that is liberals in a nutshell right there.
I'm not trying to get on you. It's the exasperation.
You should be, Tim. Stop backing off.
With liberals. Like, this is, when this happened, and like the Covington kids hoax, you remember that one? Kids on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial back, this is 7 years ago. And
and the kid that was smirking or whatever.
The Native American guy goes up in his face, banging a drum.
Oh, see? Tim has got another example. And what's this guy? Oh, yeah, the kid that was smirking, whatever. Because he knows. I think partially this jackass knows he's lying. The Covington kids thing. That kid wasn't smirking in the Indian's face until the Indian guy got up in his face. Yeah, American Indian, sorry people. Got up in his face, was starting shit because of his Trump hat. All the kid did was smile. He didn't do anything. He was smirking. He was smiling, just trying to keep the peace, trying not to say anything because he knew. You say anything back to the Native American guy with a Trump hat, he goes, whatever. Because they don't want to be proven wrong. They don't even want to see facts. It hurts them.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
CNN gets sued over it. All these outlets, all these journalists were pushing this lie. And I was just thinking to myself.
Yeah, Resistance 1.0 stuff was cringy, sure, yeah.
But, I mean, here we are today.
He's dismissing. He's dismissive because he knows he's fucked. He knows he's not getting away with this shit anymore. Tim is finally angry. There's a couple times during this whole 2 hours Tim did get angry. And Tim did not do it enough. This level of TDS or pure hate for hate's sake. Fuck facts. I hate. That's it. I've been brainwashed for 10 years to hate this man. This man's whole identity is based on hating Trump now. He's been told Trump is racist. How dare anybody get in the way? Tim is giving him facts. He's dismissive and looking down now, trying to avoid. He would love out of this conversation now.
We had a journalist on. She's a Brooklyn journalist, and I thought she was very nice. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but she was like, no, Trump did this. And we're just like, I don't understand how we've come to this point where there are so many stories like the Penguin Island hoax, Very Fine People hoax, Covington injecting bleach, Maryland Man. It's like the media just lies and the liberals believe all of it.
Look, man,
look, man.
I'll tell you what it looks like from my side. It looks like Trump does stuff that is either completely fucking moronic or completely indefensible, right?
But Tim just proved you wrong. On most of the shit you believed about Trump, Tim has proved you wrong through these 2 hours. And still he's going to go, well, here's what it looks like from my side. Trump does shit that's completely moronic and indefensible. Dude, you were still saying you thought he said there were good people in the white Supremes. You thought all this other shit. You didn't even like talking about the Covington kid. You are full of shit. When he says, oh, well, Trump does this stuff and is undefensible. Dude, you don't even know what he has or hasn't done. What an absolute cock.
And then you guys find one detail.
The left doesn't love anybody.
Where you reinterpret or you find
Slow burn, that is exactly. It's in one ear, out the other. I've had family members like this. You try showing them facts, talking to them, and a couple seconds later, they act like it never happened. So you are 100% right. I have a family member that is way TDS. I mean, ODFSTDS. And I tried showing this person the actual video of what Trump said. And they kept turning their head going, I don't need to see it. I saw it. MSNBC showed. I'm like, no, here's the full video. Showed the full video. And what was the comment? Well, that's rigged. That's edited. Dude, it's the full video. You can see when you watch yours, it's a jump cut. You can see it. Look at the person behind him. Oh shit, now they're moved. What'd they do? Just teleport? I can show you this in your continuity with everybody in the background. I did this. And they're still like, nope. You can't show them. Or if you send them facts and read it to them, seconds later, they're just like this guy going, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you're right, though. It doesn't fit his narrative right. Yeah, sorry, Ryan. That is me trying not to get myself in trouble on YouTube. That's why I'm saying Nazis and nasties and stuff. And the white Supremes. I think I've heard other YouTubers say that too. White Supremes. It's like, good grief. This guy, but slow burn, you 100% nailed it. It doesn't fit his narrative. And once again, these people feel pain if they are told they're wrong. Once again, family members, I know some other lefties that get freaky in your face if you go against their so-called facts. You try to show them the real facts, they get pissed. Or, just like this guy, dismissive. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. He didn't see it, didn't hear it.
You know, a place where like all the liberal media went too far. Yeah, sure, whatever. And then,
yeah, sure, whatever.
Harp on that one little point.
So the lefty media, doesn't matter if they go too far. Doesn't matter if they lie. Hey, sure, whatever. But boy, I wonder if he'd say that if it was the right side media that went too far. He wouldn't be going, whatever. Right here, oh, sure, whatever. Right, Riker? Right. Sorry, my 95-pound boy is right below me here. Hope you didn't walk in that cat puke that I get to clean up when I'm done here. We're almost done here, guys, with this, but I just wanted to show you that part. Sorry, I got a dog head who's about to put his head on my keyboard. You goof boy, what are you doing?
Forever. And then
God, I hope he's not eating
like
cat
the
puke.
larger thing that's happening to distract from it. In the same way.
What do you mean the larger thing? Everything you think about Trump is a lie. So what are you talking about being distracted? You don't know facts. What is it? You think you know better than we do. You're the one paying attention to these lefty media people. You don't know any facts. What a dick.
Way that, again, we were talking about Rumesa Ozturk, and it's like, was it legally possible? And like, blah, blah, blah. And like, what's the narrow legal justification when it's like, do we want to be
narrow,
a country
clear.
Where, you can come here and speak your mind or not?
He's going back to that again.
So,
this is...
He's going back to that again. That people here on a visa that know what you're not supposed to do. How dare we actually hold them to that? So you can go watch this. I would recommend it. There are times you are going to want to bang your head against the wall. There are times you're going to go, yeah, Tim. There's other times you're going to go, Tim, why are you letting him get away with this so much? But you will see that as bad as you think this guy is from these little bits I've played, oh no, it's much worse. Like I said, I watch a lot of these culture war podcasts. I like IRL, I admit it. But I'll tell you right now, this guy may be the worst TDS lunatic on either show Tim's had. He is, not only is he TDS, he is I don't give a shit on TDS. So yeah, I would recommend go watch this. Tim Pool versus Adam Conover debate. You can find it on Rumble. I'd recommend watching it there. Less ads and stuff. Also, Rumble's free speech. And it is on YouTube also. On Tim Pool. It's his Culture War podcast. It is very good. Like I said, I have no problem recommending when other people do much better shit than I do. Of course, I don't have millions of dollars on a staff either, but hey. But all power to him. He does. I do agree with Tim probably about 65% of the time. There's 35% where I think he's ODFS, to put it that way. But yeah, it's well worth your time. It's good 2 hours. You can even just listen. But if you are watching it, listening is bad enough, listening to this guy. But watching him while he's doing it, his mannerisms are going to make you just lose it. Tinson sets him up. He lets them down comfortable. Their head lies. Yeah. Well, the problem is, slow burn, he didn't swoop in enough. Trust me. If you watch this, the 2 or 3 times Tim does get mad and really pushes back, you're going to go, that's not enough. Because this guy frames it and says stupid shit, says clear lies, a lot. And Tim lets him get away with a good amount of it. I don't know. But yeah, go take a look at it. But right now we are going to move over and check a few happy moments here. I think I had a few. Well, I did that. No, we don't want to do that. Oh, here's a quickie for you guys. Connie, if you're still up, I did this for you. Colorado Governor Jared Polis has signed a new bill into law that criminalizes misgendering. One, that's illegal. That is anti-First Amendment. First Amendment says I don't have to. I can demand you call me a helicopter, but the government cannot make a law that you have to call me a helicopter. This is stupid. It's illegal. This is going to get struck down on court challenge in any sane court. This is anti-First Amendment. Criminalizes misgendering. That is nuts. So, Connie, if you're still up, you might want to start thinking about getting out of that state between their illegal firearms laws, shit like this, trying to back illegals. This is crazy what's going on in Colorado. I'm telling you, not enough oxygen at that altitude. You mix it with too much granola and Subarus, and that's what you get. Yep. Low oxygen, too many Subarus, too much granola, you get this crazy shit. Tim makes it stand on every point, then he appears to be unhinged. Yeah, I get it, Ryan, but you're going to watch, trust me, when you watch this, I'm not saying Tim needs to push back every time. I understand letting it go sometimes so these people, geez, you're trying to let the crazy get out so people go, wow, he's crazy. But there are times you're going to look at this and go, that one should have had a little bit of something. There are times that Tim, I don't think, you're going to watch this, I think there's going to be at least 3 times you're going to say, I don't know if Tim caught that too. So, I don't know if he understood what this guy just said. But yes, I agree with that, Ryan. That's a good take on it, really. So yeah, you don't want to be all the time. I get that. Maybe Tim was like pushing back till later in it too because he's afraid maybe somebody will walk off. But yeah, Colorado, lunatic, Illinois getting crazy trying to take our, yeah. Trust me, I know, Slowburn, I'm in Illinois. Illinois is craziness. So yeah, you're in Illinois. Did not know that. I am. I am a prisoner of Illinois. I live in the Quad Cities. But yeah, Illinois Pritzker's doing illegal shit. The SAFE Act is illegal. All the other stuff where he retroactively made millions of firearms owners in Illinois, felons, is illegal. And what happens? The Supreme Court has its thumb up its ass doing nothing. The Supreme Court is letting states full of people deny the Second Amendment, and their Supreme Court does nothing. Nothing. Illinois is losing population for a reason. Now, this is just a quick little ha-ha. And yes, maybe I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, whatever. Not my type of music. Grown men going to a Taylor Swift concert is embarrassing. That doesn't bother me so much. It's the way these guys are, oh my God. I don't know if they are of the I love men variety of men. I do not know. Or if this is the left's idea of manly men now. The betas. Maybe not even the betas. The kappas. These might be down to gammas by now. But this is a little bit sad. Just the way they're getting goo. Oh my God. And they're looking at the guy in the back here. He's like, oh. Dude, I like some music, but I don't fawn. That is what you call fawning over right there. The way the guy back, oh, he goes in. The way they're bound. Look at this. Oh my God, that is so amazing. Just not right. Colorado's a true American tragedy, yes. And yeah, Connie will tell you that. That's Buckle Bunny here. And my wife has an aunt that lives out there. And the born Coloradans hate all the California transplants. They've come in there and decimated. They admit their state bordered left anyway. Like I said, too many Subarus, granola, and not enough oxygen. But the California people have come in and just decimated that state. Turned it hard left. Yeah, a lot of people that grew up in Colorado absolutely are losing it out there. Yeah, top 5 coolest states just thrown to the psychotic whims of California retirees, 100%. Not even just retirees. Just anybody with California had money wants to leave. They've gone there. All right, we're getting into the ha-has here. We'll be out of here in a little bit, guys. I appreciate you hanging out. If you haven't yet, please hit thumbs up on the stream. And if you know anybody that might like any of my craziness, especially when I'm a little more awake than I am now, feel free to please share the channel out. And for anybody lurking, I do not ask you automatically subscribe to my channel. But if you come back and I can entertain you at least 3 times for at least 10 minutes each time, then please subscribe. I know it's a weird low bar, right? Liberal man, is it time to declare war on the USA? What?
The time has come for the UK and the EU to declare a state of war with the United States of America. Ever since the fascist takeover by Donald Trump, Doge and Elon Musk, America now represents a serious threat to democracy across the world, especially in the Western world. And by betraying Ukraine...
Okay, one, you declaring actual war in the United States will not work out for you. We have bailed you out of world wars. We can also bury you in one. United States of America's military, if it goes all balls out and people of this country go balls out to supporting a war effort, these people have zero idea what they're facing. We're talking all of Europe has what? 2 or 3 aircraft carriers? We have what? 10 aircraft carrier groups? I think it's more than that. How many? Here, let's look that up. There we go. Okay, we have 11 active carriers, but we also have like another 10 that we can reactivate. It's crazy. 11 active aircraft carrier groups. They travel with a bunch of other ships and subs. These people have zero idea what they were up against. Our aircraft carriers are much, much larger than anybody else's, let alone all of our nuclear subs and everything else. They would get their butts kicked. We also have 9 helo carriers. Jeez, nearly as many as all other countries combined. So yeah, UK, you go for it. I dare you. And as for freedom and all authoritarianism, you're one to talk. You guys are arresting people over there for speech. Go for it.
By betraying Ukraine, Zelensky, and the EU and leaving us at the mercy.
Ukraine's not our problem. How is it our problem over here? Why don't you take care of Ukraine, you jackass? Why is it you guys aren't picking up the dog shit in your own backyard? Why is it if America doesn't come over and scoop up your dog shit, you hate us? Why are we always over in Europe fixing your problems? How about handling your own problem, you European beta dick?
Of Vladimir Putin, we have no choice now but to fight for freedom and democracy for all people all around the world. Now, of course, this is not a fight that's going to be easy to win. America is a very powerful country, but I will be the first to volunteer to fight for that cause, to fight that war.
Now, just looking at this dude, do you think any of our soldiers are going to be frightened watching this dude come over the hill at them? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think you have any clue, let alone if you somehow get through our military. You like to crap on how many Americans have firearms? Imagine our military times about 5, because then you get here, you're going to run into all of our citizens, ex-military, police, backwoods rednecks. You ain't going to have a clue. You do not know what will come down on you. Do not try this.
The beaches of New York or the shores of the River Thames. We must fight fascism wherever we see it, as nations, and stand as one. Whether that's us without America in NATO fighting Donald Trump's armies, or whether that's fighting Vladimir Putin.
You wouldn't be able to fight our armies. You have zero chance. Let's try this. Oops. Oops. Here we go. Let's have a good giggle. Comparison of military strength. Is Europe's military stronger than USA? Europe's national armies have a combined force of 1.5 million personnel, much more than the current U.S. force in Europe. I don't give a shit about how many in Europe. The report says if Washington does withdraw troops, Europe would need an additional 300,000 servicemen, because that's how much we protect them. They are nowhere near what we are. All right, so let's see. Trying to see if it's just going to tell me. Military expenditures. Look at that. That is crazy. And that is U.S. and European Union. We spend a shitload. Active personnel. We have more active personnel than all of Europe. Reserve personnel. They have more. But we are a much bigger country. Available for military. Ooh. Tanks. 4,300 to 5,600. Armored fighting vehicles. We beat them there. Total artillery. Oops, they got us in that. Ooh, old artillery guns. Self-propelled artillery. We're very close to all of Europe. Rocket artillery. Very close. Air forces. Oh, crap. 5,000 to 13,000. Fighter jets. 375, 377. Pretty close. Multi-role aircraft. 955, 2,400. Attack craft, 111 to 531. Helicopters, 2,200 to 4,900. UAVs, combat drones, 67 to 444. Navy, their total Navy, they have 1,496 ships to our 466. Aircraft carriers, though, they have 7. We have 20. Destroyers, 17, 99. Frigates, they have all these little frigates. Oh, isn't that just friggin' cute? You got cute little frigates. We give so much of a shit about frigates. We have none. We gave up. We said that is useless. That's like taking a motorboat out against destroyers. Our new destroyers are amazing. 78 to 0. Ooh. Corvettes, that's another size. They have 23, we have 26. Submarines, they have 46 total of all the European Union. We have 70. And most of theirs, by the way, they're not breaking this down. Most of theirs are not nuclear. They have no nuclear aircraft carriers. They have no nuclear subs. I think they have a few. But I know most of ours are nuclear. We barely have anything that's not. So these things theirs have to come up for fuel. They have to come up for air. They do a lot that ours doesn't. Ours can go underwater and stay there for months. Yeah. Plus, you keep going. Nuclear weapons, everything else. So yes, dude, bring it. Bring it.
If we don't take action,
sorry if I wandered off it. Yeah, bring it, buddy.
Stand for our values. Stand for our liberal, left-wing values. Then I believe they will be under threat and possibly destroyed forever. Now, obviously, America is a nuclear-armed country, and that poses a serious challenge. But sometimes you have to stand up and fight for what you believe in, no matter what the challenge is or what the consequences might be.
You'll glow in the dark.
It will be very difficult, given our long-standing allyship with the United States. But sometimes allies do turn on each other, and times change. And you have to stand up for your values, no matter what.
Dude, if you declare war on us, we will back out of Europe. Totally. We're the only thing protecting you. So go for it. Russia would love us to back out of there. North Korea would love for us to back out of Europe. China would like it. You are an idiot. Let me catch you guys up. Sorry, guys. I can't hear what that guy's saying. He's going, I got it turned up as loud as it goes. That is it. He's just saying how it's time. The captions, it's time to declare war on America. He thinks Europe time to declare war on America. So let's see here. Oh. Most powerful 7 guns on average. Yeah, exactly, Slow Burn. I don't think this guy has a clue. Our military is one thing, but let's say you got to the shores of America. Good luck. Good friggin' luck. Dude, let alone the people with legal guns. What about all the illegal? Do you tell me now gangbangers wouldn't be going, oh, you done made a mistake there, English boy or China boy? They'd be like, oh, welcome. Welcome. Let's see. But yeah, he's all talking about how it's time for Europe to declare war on the United States. Bad move. All the left mostly live in the Front Range here. California, losers, yeah. Washington State was literally King County, where Seattle is, that controlled the entire state. Yeah, well, that's the way we are in Illinois. We have Chicago. And the rest of the state, boy, if you look at the map, Illinois is 90% red. Just around Chicago and a few other little areas are blue. We are like as red as Iowa. So, yeah, stupid Chicago. I'm so dumb, I'm not sure if I ever got the right. But Seattle's lefty population is handy. Yeah, that's the way Illinois, Chicago is. We don't like it. There's a reason over 1/3 of Illinois counties have expressed an opinion of wanting to either join Iowa, Indiana, or another state. And I really wish I kind of wish it would happen. We need a state to break up because they pissed on and shit on. The big cities have pissed and shit on the rest of the people in their states. We need either some people from Washington to leave to go to Idaho, or Portland, Oregon to Idaho, and some of Chicago, Illinois to go to the other states. We need a state to actually do it. Because we got to teach these cities, screw you. That's it. Time to come back to a little bit of sanity, or fuck you, live on your own. And I know some people, oh, but without Chicago, Illinoisans would be nothing. No, we would live without you. We don't need you. Because I'm sorry, people, but Illinois, Chicago brings in so much money. We don't care. Plus, you rob money. Chicago schools are horrid and rob all downstate schools all the time. There's tons of shit that gets robbed from downstate to pay for the horribleness going on in Chicago. Hell, how about the illegal aliens? Tons of our money Springfield is sending to you assholes to pay for illegals that the rest of us don't want here. So yeah, it's just idiotic. Yes, Ryan, there's a guy on YouTube. He's from the UK, and he went and looked watching him find out how strong America really is, that we could take on the whole world if we put our minds to it and win. And he was just shitting himself. I don't think these people really understand. And like I've said before, if you get to our shores, I'm sorry, Red Dawn was light. Both versions of Red Dawn was light. They don't address the gangs in our inner cities. The gangs or not, they're going to be supporting America against invaders because they don't want authoritarians coming in and taking over, or dictatorships or whatever, because that is not good for business or good for their power. So they're going to support America. Then you got everybody else who has legal firearms here, and holy shit, if you watch some of the YouTubers, some people have friggin' arsenals. It is crazy. There are people that own tanks and howitzers in this country. Yeah, Joe Biden, we can own a cannon. So yeah, it is crazy. Same, or half of the state is trying to break up and become part of Greater Idaho. Yeah, exactly. And we need a state to do it. We need a state to do it. Honestly. It's craziness. So this guy's an idiot. Oh, Ed Krasenstein's all pissed off because he was visited by Secret Service posting 8647 after Comey did. Trump, he just whines about it. So he says, oh, the Secret Service is really friendly. You know, they were like, ha, but they made us do this. Whatever. This guy's a jackass. I'm not even going to play him. If you want to go check it out, it's just stupid lefty crap. I'm losing my patience. All right, I'm trying to get into the ha and get out of here anyway. Here you go. What is this? I'm going to have to blink that. I got a copyright strike the other day for something, for a lullaby. Somebody remade a Brahms video, or a Brahms lullaby, and they're somehow copywriting me on it, even though don't sound like they remade it. It sounds like they just played it in a different tone, which I had to ask them when they were kind of trying to go after me for copyright. I'm like, you sure you transformed this enough not to be able to claim copyright? Because I don't think so. But I did win a copyright strike against HBO the other day for my John Oliver thing I was talking about. Well, they come back. I won. Dude, that is... One, I have a problem. Are we sure that's a biological female? Two, what plastic surgeon did this? They should never be able to touch another person. I mean, what the absolute crap? That is just wrong. What in the hell? I'm not sure it can be done. It's kind of dumb. Apparently, I'm fogging this point. But when the states are incorporated in the Constitution... Yeah, well, they can break up, but they have to get congressional approval to break up. They do. They have to get congressional approval to do it. First, they have to get the state legislature to okay it. Then the United States Congress has to give it okay, which I think is absolutely stupid. And I know it's part of our laws, but I think it's stupid. I think if your government isn't representing you, you should be able to leave. If the people of Illinois aren't being represented by our leaders, we should be able to leave. If Chicago is our problem, we should say bye-bye. If Illinois is screwing us over, we should go, hey, Indiana, howdy. Hey, Iowa, howdy. Hey, Missouri. Hey, Kentucky. You know what? I think we should 100% be able to do that. But yeah, I don't know what plastic surgeon did this. And like I said, I'm unsure if that's male or female. But this one, Clown World says her. So I don't know what that look is. Right, should I never need a bottle opener again. Cut that built in right under her lips. Yeah. I don't know what the hell. And dancing around, showing it off. I don't get it. I know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I want to know. I would want to see from anybody else who thinks that's attractive. I'd like to ask where, what part. How do they get the money? A lot of them go to other lefty groups. They beg for it. They do weird OnlyFans stuff or something. I don't get it. All right, here's a quick one. What would you name this island? Oh, my Lord. The happiest place on earth, I guess. I don't know. The Peckerwood Peninsula? I don't know. I'm too tired, but that's just not right. Oh, my Lord. What do you guys think? Got some names? Got some names for this? Anybody? That chin should be used to breach doors, opening bottles. Yeah, no kidding. That is no kidding. Rod of Faith. I like Peckerwood, the Peckerwood Peninsula or something, or Cape Peckerwood. There you go. The Viagra Coast. The Happy Endings. I don't know. The Rod of Faith. Phallotopia. There we go. There we go. That's quality. Now we're getting there. What do you call this street? It goes right up here. Is that they just call it Main Vein Boulevard? Yike. I don't know. That's just not right. Makes you wonder, though. Lefties. Remember Slowburn? But lefties love everybody. No, they don't. They say that. Once again, they lie. Throwing ketchup and stuff on, or tomato juice on. Hey! This one says spills. That's not spills. She's throwing it. And thinks it's funny. Did you hear that? I'm not sure that's a woman. What do you think? Hey!
What, you're worried I'm gonna say your fucking signs that are telling lies to people? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it is. It is. I don't know if you heard that person in the background. I don't know if you heard what that person said in the background, but yeah, right here.
You fucking tried to talk to you, asshole. I just tried to talk to you. Kids still can't change their gender.
Right there.
Kids still can't change their gender.
Whoops. I was right. Called it. Bingo, he confused. Yeah.
You fucking tried to talk to you.
They need to start arresting people for this. Freedom of speech is one thing, but once you start messing with people's shit or getting in the way of their rights or attacking them, it's time to start arresting every one of these. And anybody that's right-leaning, Turning Point, whoever, if you don't have these people arrested, all you are doing is no different than you bitch about in California where you said, well, they made it so you could legally steal anything up to $950. That's stupid. These people are doing illegal shit. You're letting them, if you're not calling the police, having them arrested, then you're doing the same stupid shit California did. And I'm sorry, Turning Point or whoever else would let these people get off, you're being stupid. Just as dumb as California. Nice, Ryan. Yeah. That chick.
I just tried to talk to you.
Right then?
You need to arrest people for defacing and damaging property.
Hello. Could you please not do that?
Why?
Because this is our stuff.
Can you please not do this?
We're allowed to table here. We actually have a permit.
Yeah?
Yeah, we do.
Then you arrest them.
Well, that's yeah, you can't touch his phone.
I'm not touching your phone. I'm covering the camera.
Okay.
You're not touching.
No, you're not. There's one on you.
Why are you
moron?
Because we have a right to be here. Why are you here?
Because I have a right to be here. About kids. We care
Okay, so why are you damaging our stuff?
Behold the tolerant left.
Yeah, behold the tolerant left. Well, yeah, behold the overly tolerant right. Arrest them. You call the police. Vandalization of property. And if that got on anybody else, that is actually, I don't know if it's a clear assault, but that's stupid. Once again, I do not like when right-leaning people who bitch about California's other stupid laws letting people get away with shit, but then they turn around and let people get away with shit. Stop it. All right. Nah. You would think this might be the funny thing. Oh, yeah? Oh, music. Shaved all her hair off to trigger men. Giving men one more reason to hate me. I'm not sure men were going to be a problem anyway for you. Once again, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But I'm not sure even the blind were going, oh, baby. So I don't think that's one more reason. I don't think you needed another reason. Just saying. I just don't think that's your biggest problem. I am triggered and hateful. Yeah, exactly. And I don't understand. Once again, I do not get why right-leaning groups do this. They will shit on the left for letting people get away with stuff or making stupid laws about criminal activity, and then will just allow it themselves. Well, you know, we're just here to talk and be nice. Screw you. You arrest them, and if somebody's throwing shit on my stuff or damaging my shit, I'm stopping them. Nope. Nobody was looking anyway. Exactly, slow burn. Or if they were, all you did was add to the reason they were looking, and if they giggle, well, okay. Whatever. I just don't think it's the own. I only put it up because she thinks it's an own. Like somehow, well, men, you know what? I'm taking myself off that market because you're all lining up for me. So I will make myself slightly less attractive to you so you won't want my amazingness. I don't think that was going to be a problem. But she's acting like this is type of own. Oh, I showed those chuds. Nah, I don't think so. All right, we're going to end on something a little happy here. A little Elon Musk action. This is a while ago, but Elon is talking about, I'm not sure if people understand how big Starship is. This is crazy cool. So I thought we'd go with something a little happy. Lives at the base of Phallotopia. Ryan's going to like that. He's going to stick with that one. But I give it credit. That was a winner. That was a winner. Oh, man.
Totally understand. Like, Starship is the largest flying object ever made.
That's crazy.
This thing will be about over 5,000 tons weight on liftoff. It's going to go straight up with 5,000 tons. This is much heavier than any aircraft by far. There's no aircraft even comes close to this weight. And it's going straight up. But aircraft can't go straight up. So it's like it's got more than twice. It will have more than twice the thrust of a Saturn V.
Really? Holy shit.
Yeah. It's like a big rocket. I'm not sure people totally understand.
That's the one that got me. I was into all the space travel and early rocketry stuff. Twice the thrust of a Saturn V? That was a monster. That is crazy. I just think that what this guy's done is epic. I mean, look at this beautiful thing. The FAA has officially approved SpaceX to boost Starship launches from Texas Starbase, jumping from 5 to 25 a year. He's going to up his launches by 5 times the amount. Holy crap. I mean, look at this thing. That is beautiful. Oh, I'm going to get back. Look at this. God, the technology this guy has made. It makes NASA look like they're driving an Edsel. NASA's going to do little probes everywhere. Dude, stop doing probes. Let's start doing manned stuff. Nobody gets excited over a little probe going somewhere or a little rover driving around on Mars. What gets man excited? Humans going out and doing stuff. That gets us all excited. Gets kids wanting to be astronauts again. Not a lot of people go, I want to grow up and I want to do telemetry for a drone. A rover going through the solar system. That doesn't get people happy. Seeing cool shit like this that may launch people into space to other planets. That is crazy cool to me. Besides, the imagery is amazing. Isn't that beautiful, though? Man. Just beautiful. I thought it was amazing. But that is what I've got for tonight, everybody, or this morning. I hope you guys are about to have a very good Saturday. If you are going to be up and you do like something light to watch breakfast, there is a channel called Saturday Morning Cartoon Max out that shows Saturday morning cartoons. They do. It's a father, daughter, wife team. And they set up different themes or different years of Saturday morning cartoons and play them. Not bad to sit down and have a little flashback and have some cereal. But yeah, I'm not liking Colorado right now. The governor, oh, Bunny, did you see what I posted earlier about your governor? He said now you can't call misgender people. It's illegal. He said, made that in a bill. What the heck in a handbasket? But thank you very much, Slowburn. Sorry, guys, if I was a little wandery tonight. I am very tired, but I like to get on and do this. So, appreciate it. Headed to try to nab a turkey with my 78-year-old boys. Wow, Ryan. Cool. That's great. Dude, and you're out. I'm sure you're talking about hunting, not going to Arby's. But that's great. I learned using firearms early on. I was around them growing up, grew up in the country. So yeah, I appreciate it. I'm going to get to, when I get off here, I get to turn around and clean up cat puke. So you're about to have a much better morning than I am. But hey, good luck. Good luck, man. And you're teaching them kids. So when Europe comes to take over, your boys are going to know what to do. All right, guys, thank you very much. Please hit thumbs up if you haven't. I got a lot going on today, but I'm going to try, I swear, I'm going to try to be on much, much earlier. I would like to be on by like 9 or 10. That's it. That's what I'm aiming for, somewhere in there, guys. So if you like, I will try to be on around then. Other than that, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at. And I hope you go get yourself some turkeys, or Ryan. Have a good night, Connie. Have a good night, Slowburn, or good morning. God, I'm stuck on by times. And for you lurkers in the background, thank you very much, and talk to you all later.